An iHeart radio station.
Top free agents appears to have avoided major injury. ESPN's Field Yates reports an MRI on his injured right knee showed no structural damage. He's considered day-to-day. Nyheim Hines, a key special teams and offensive player for the Bills, expected to miss the season with a left ACL injury, was hurt when he was struck by a jet ski. A huge decision looming for the Angels with MLB's August 1st trade deadline approaching. Will they trade two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani or risk losing him this winter as an unrestricted free agent? The Angels have said they won't trade him if they remain in playoff contention. ESPN MLB reporter Jesse Rogers.
A week ago, if you'd asked me, I thought he'd be on the move, at least if you'd asked me at the All-Star break, because the trend for the Angels was so poor without Mike Trout and the way they were going in the standings, but they have recovered some. And I think it's not going to take a lot for the owner and maybe even the GM to be convinced they could make the playoffs.
Jesse Rogers on ESPN Radio Mornings. The Angels have won 6 of 8. They are 4 games back of the 3rd AL wildcard spot.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, GREEN. That's green. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Green, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
It is the Sportsocracy, and welcome into a new week of sports broadcasting here in the Ingles studio. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat here each and every day. We're glad to have you in for this. Well, I mean, it's here, folks. It's the kickoff of most NFL training camps. But in fact, by Wednesday, every team in the NFL will be in training camp.
We've made it. We've made it through the doldrums. There will be no more speak of baseball on this show, or it's football time.
Oh, come on. We got to break down the MLB trade deadline.
Do we? Yeah,
No.
I don't think we have to do that.
You don't have to. We're not gonna.
Hey, there's one guy that could be a lot of fun if he gets traded, but he's not going to. And he's going to stay with a team that nobody cares about. Awesome.
Unless the New York Yankees do that thing. Unless they do that thing where they're like, oh, we have to have everybody. Shohei Ohtani. If that breaks, we'll mention it. Anything less would be uncivilized.
We may play a fun game after the trade deadline of is this a guy that was traded in Major League Baseball, or is this a guy with a trade in Asheville, North Carolina?
We welcome everybody into the program. Yeah, we're going to talk about throwbacks coming up in the daily draft because the Jets throwback came out today.
So good.
It's okay.
I love that it leaked online first. Okay, so I've been a Jets fan my entire life. There were only 2 choices. Mm-hmm. We've only had 2 other than what we have right now. Other than that, what was it the Titans of New York? Yeah, we don't need to do that one again.
Oh, yeah.
The blue and gold
Titans or whatever.
That was awful. But the New York Sack Exchange coming back.
I like it.
And wearing it week 1. You remember that thing I said that the Jets week 1 against Buffalo was the greatest cinch bet I've ever seen in my life? Double that. Oh, you're rocking the 80s throwbacks? Okay.
Just so convinced that you're going to open up with a win at home against the Buffalo Bills.
Yes, I told Asheville Police Chief David Zach that. over the weekend.
And he hit you in the face.
Oh, he tried to set me on fire, but
Well, there you go.
We'll talk about that.
That was an apt response to
We'll talk about that
lunacy.
Friday. We'll talk about that Friday. I also learned a very valuable lesson. I had my first old-fashioned of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Never had one of those. I mean, other than sampling one that I made for somebody else. And probably never do that again.
Daily Draft today is going to be the throwbacks that have been announced.
So unlike what we have done in the past, this is only the ones you're going to see this year.
Yes.
And I feel like I should give Tank the number one pick so he can take those stupid orange ones with.
Well, I mean, I figured our first picks would be
our own teams.
Our own teams.
Stands to reason.
I get the creamsicles, you get the New York Sack Exchange, and then we go from there. We know those are going to be the number one picks for the Jets fan and for the Bucks fan.
Well, that means I want you to have the number one pick.
Oh, because you want first pick on the
100%.
On the other side.
I want first pick of the ones that we don't have fanship.
All right,
of.
I will do that. I'll do the first pick. You'll have the second pick, and away we shall go. So that's coming up at the top of the third hour of the program, as the Daily Draft always does. In the meantime, I mean, we got football stuff to get into. We got camp injuries already. One guy got injured not even getting to camp yet.
Don't get on jet skis. Like, it's just, that's not a good idea.
The league's running backs came together over the weekend and had a Zoom call where they talked about what can we do? And the overall answer was nothing.
Yep, that was moderated by Bernie Sanders. What can you do about it? Nothing.
Plus, we got two more off-season files to get to. The New England Patriots in the AFC, and our team for the NFC today in the off-season files will be the New York Football Giants.
New York Football Giants.
Let's get into it, though, here. A recap of the weekend. Nothing great happened.
Yeah, Brian Harmon eviscerated Royal Liverpool.
Right.
And nobody got close to it.
Brian Harmon gets out to a 5-stroke lead at the cut and then just never looked back. It was never competitive.
He may be the most competitive person on the planet. He said there was one specific spectator that amped him up, and that led to there was another story of when he was an amateur.
Yeah, because Jeremy Green was in the crowd. And as he's walking off the course, the guy yelled out to him, "You don't have the stones for this." That's totally a Jeremy line.
No, I would say something much more vulgar that I could not say on this show because I had zero doubloons on Brian Harmon and was actually making fun of people that did it. Right. But there was a story that came out about him. He played against Ricky Fowler in the NCAA championships.
Okay.
As an amateur. And apparently Ricky Fowler walked off on the 16th green as he was putting in, and he went, "I am going to whip this dude's tuchus." And he did. So it's a great story.
Yep.
I mean, I don't find it really all that polarizing that a guy that this was his 30th major, he's missed the cut 17 times, and has never made more than 3 in a row. Yeah, okay. Sometimes.
Was this his first tournament win, period?
No, he's won.
This is the first major win.
This is his first major. Okay. I think he's won 5 times in his life as a pro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I heard like over the last 5 years, nobody has more top 10 finishes than this guy. And I imagine
he plays
because
in every tournament.
Right, because he plays in all the lesser tournaments, and you got a chance to get in the top 10 if you're going to do that.
Look, everything I heard, great guy, but I have never watched less of the Open Championship than I did this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had a DraftKings team that was pretty good. I had Sepp Straka, I had Tom Kim. I don't remember who else I had that was up there pretty high. But I had 6 guys make the cut, and I still could not find a way to make myself at 8 o'clock in the morning go locked in.
No.
And usually I can.
I cannot. The only reason I'm going to watch it is if it's if there's somebody in contention, and no one was.
I bought cinnamon rolls that I was planning on having at like 7 o'clock in the morning with my coffee. And you know where those sit right now? In my crisper drawer, just waiting on the day that Jeremy's going to wake up before 9 o'clock.
U.S. women's national team, they got a win over the weekend in the World Cup. Congratulations to them. And moving on, because nobody cares. We had 2 soccer fans stay at our house this weekend, and one of them is 12, and the other one's like 20-something. And the 12-year-old said, "Hey, can we watch the soccer match?" And I went, "Which one?" The U.S. women. I was like, "I don't think anybody else wants to watch that, bud." "Well, fine then. I don't want to hear about it one more time this weekend."
Not a problem.
"Okay, you won't. You got
Check.
No one will bring that up in conversation at all."
Got it.
Congratulations.
I mean,
you got your wish. I finally did turn it on for him. He watched 1 minute of it and then went, "Just tell me who wins," and ran out of the room. I was like,
Boom.
"Oh, that's how soccer works."
Boom. Let's go.
Even if you have an attachment, you don't have to watch it. Just they'll tell you who wins.
My favorite. Did you have a favorite drama of the weekend? Because I did.
Favorite drama of the weekend?
Yeah.
I mean, the final laps of the NASCAR race were pretty good yesterday.
I was hoping that was what you were going to say because I have no idea what happened. But my social media feed was just a whole lot of NASCAR sucks. And I bet I saw that 50 times. And I never cared enough to go, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they came down to the end of the race, and Denny Hamlin's running up front with Kyle Larson, and they're coming around.
Let me guess, he wrecked him.
They're coming. He didn't even touch him. Now, granted, did he do kind of a D-bag move where he didn't give him a whole lot of space? Yeah, he did that. But he basically ran Kyle Larson up the track, never touched him. Kyle just lost control and hit the wall. And then Kyle finishes like 14th in the race, and Denny Hamlin took the trophy. And when it was over, everybody booed. Of course they did, because it's Denny Hamlin.
I still maintain there are three things in NASCAR that we just drive the cars until we only have one car that runs. That's a race I want to see. Not saying you go
Last
full
one
demolition
standing.
derby. Just, you know what? After a certain period of time, nobody's going to have an engine left.
Right.
So last one standing wins. I would love to see that. I got my wish of rain tires. That took 75 years before they went, hey, we have cars and they drive in the rain. Why can we not drive these cars in the rain? We never have. We've never done a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting too many teams on board with, hey, let's take this $1 million race car out and just run it till it runs out.
My favorite was the Big Three. Ice Cube has been on a tirade about nobody talking about his league that plays with former NBA players. And then he showed that they outrated the NBA Summer League on ESPN Plus. You're on CBS! You could do a puppet show on CBS and it would get 600,000 watchers because 400,000 of them left their television on when they fell asleep after Meet the Press.
Look, when Joe Johnson is still the biggest star in your league, you have a problem, right? I mean, I would rather watch Chinese basketball with Kemba Walker going over there.
I mean, it's fine. That's like saying, hey, we outrated the XFL. And so did Ready, Set, Cook. That doesn't mean I want to watch it anymore. Or Bob Vila. Is he still alive?
I watched more of the TBT this weekend than I would of
you do.
the Big Three or whatever.
That's your thing. The TBT is your version of the draft to me.
It's just something. It's competitive sports that I could put on my television that I even kind of recognize a name.
Yeah, I don't care. I watched some of The Mentalist. It's a great new show that I have discovered. Learned how to play gin rummy.
There you go.
That was fun.
Are you hanging out with my grandma?
No, Amy and I just got a wild hair of, hey, you want to play cards?
Let's play rummy.
And she went, hey, let's play poker. And I went, do you know how to play poker? No. Oh, no. Let's not do that.
Then strip poker. Let's go.
Well.
You don't know how to play? I don't really know how to play either, honey, so we'll learn together. That's how you do that. Like that would have been the way to go for me, but no, you went, let's play pinochle.
I don't know what pinochle is, but rummy was fun. And we went and hung out with Asheville Police Chief David Zach and the lovely Mrs. Zach. Got to hear some people complain about the temperature of the pool. I'm like,
nice.
It's a pool. I did learn that I have a slew of friends that don't understand that you can't just turn up a thermostat on a pool. It's 30,000 gallons of water.
It takes a while.
We can turn the temperature up and it'll be warmer Tuesday.
Right.
I don't really know what that's going to do you right now.
Right.
But
I don't like a really cold pool. I really don't.
But it wasn't cold. It was like 80 degrees.
Yeah, that's warm.
That was my point of, it's so cold. It's 80 degrees. It's not a bathtub.
Yeah, it's not going to get much. It's not going to get much warmer for you.
I mean, we don't want the pool water to evaporate. So that was the weekend in a nutshell.
Sloan Jordan says, "No, you want to kill a day, you got to play Shanghai Rummy. Basically
boy.
Rummy, but it's 7 decks.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have made it through that. Mm-mm. We argued enough about the rules. That's one of, and I know she's not listening right now because she's at work. One of many things that I love about my spouse is that you can pull up the official rules of a game, and she'll go, "Well, that's not how I played it."
No.
You could play Monopoly with handguns, and it doesn't mean it's right. These are the rules. But
But it's no fun if you don't put $500 in free parking.
Oh yeah, free parking's you got to have free parking in Monopoly.
Yeah, but that's not in the rules.
It should be.
Double the money for landing on go. You have to play that.
It's also fun when you try to sort out a card game you've never played before after, I don't know, 22 domestic lights. And Jeremy's just sitting here going, these rules don't make even nary a lick of sense.
No.
I asked her at one point, so how does somebody win here? Will you score enough points? How many's enough points? I don't know. Yep, that math don't math. I don't know what to do with that, but that's not the way this is supposed to go.
Right. Well, we hope you got some sports enjoyment out of your weekend. If you were watching baseball, baseball, it's fun. I mean, Stephen Tao, he's got his Baltimore Orioles there at the top of the AL East. We can all still celebrate the fact that the Yankees are kind of floundering.
Yeah, with your team.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
We don't talk about baseball in the show. I have to ask, have you just gone full, like, my team's never going to be good again?
No.
Because you haven't been good in a really long time.
I mean, they've been fine. I mean, it hasn't been long since they won a World Series. It was only like 5 years ago.
Was it really?
Yeah. 2018, we won a World Series, and so...
I thought you'd been awful. It feels like you've been awful forever.
No. It's just,
which I'm a huge fan of, because when you're good, you want to talk about it, and when you're not, you just ignore it.
just ignore it altogether. It's Red Sox and Yankees tied at the bottom of the AL East, so that's something that the Baltimore Orioles fans can feel good about. I don't really care. We got the trade deadline coming up, and will your team be sellers? Will they be buyers? I don't know. The Atlanta Braves at least got a lot to look forward to, as they're the best damn team in baseball. Somebody was complaining to me over the weekend about, the Braves lost 4 last week. And I went, slow down there, Skippy. You've lost 30 games all year. I think you're going to be
good.
fine.
Yeah, you're fine. It's a long season.
Yeah, you're going to be just fine. But Atlanta Braves baseball, of course, can be heard here on ESPN Asheville each and every game.
But we have found ourselves immersed in the wonderful world of football. We only got 2 more weeks before we can talk about actual on-the-field things.
Yep.
Now, it's preseason. Not saying it's like a little flappetizer. You're really hungry. They bring the chips and the dip and the queso. Is it a meal? No. Is it awesome? Yes. And if you're watching us on the YouTube, after this here program, which ends at 6 o'clock Eastern time, you will be able to see our first Mock Draft Monday. Fantasy football, full draft, men tank. Let's go.
Yep. 15 rounds, 12-man league. First one's in the books.
And there
will be many more to follow.
This is just your standard PPR. We talk about a bunch of guys that we like. You'll get to see some of it cut up on the old Tic Tac. The Instaface. It's fantasy football.
And X. Are we going to put some on X as well?
I don't know what is with the X.
I don't know.
I saw that over the weekend. I don't understand what that is.
Twitter has changed their logo to an X now.
So the X-Men?
Don't know. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We got some injuries already, and training camps aren't even in full swing yet in the NFL. We'll talk about those coming up next.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Ingles Markets and iHeartRadio Asheville have declared July Public Safety Appreciation Month. Throughout the month, we'll be recognizing our hard-working public safety officers from Asheville, Waynesville, Weaverville, Canton, and the Sheriff's Department of Haywood County and Buncombe County. Our good friends at Ingles Markets will be providing a one-time lunch for all, and we'll be making an appearance at each department as well to thank them for their hard work in keeping us safe. July is Public Safety Appreciation Month with Ingles Markets and iHeartRadio Asheville.
The original Tough Man contest hits the ring at Silverado's in Black Mountain July 28th and 29th. See the toughest fighters go toe-to-toe in live action. Tickets are $20 in advance and $30 the day of the show. The original Tough Man competition, July 28th and 29th at Silverado's in Black Mountain. Ringside and VIP tickets are available. Get yours now at silveradoswnc.com. silveradoswnc.com.
Okay, so we have the car payment, the rent, utilities,
and the repair bill.
What should we do?
I know. I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. I can apply in minutes, get an instant decision, and if approved, we could have the money in our account as soon as the same business day.
When you need money fast, be the hero. Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need now. The exact timing as to when your loan funds will be available will be determined by your banking institution.
Don't give in to that constant joint pain. Take control. Take back your quality of life today with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is helping people every day here and across the country with their amazing non-surgical treatments that repair and restore damaged joint tissue. They use the latest advances in regenerative medicine, taking your own body's healing agents and concentrating them right in the area where you have the agonizing pain. This incredible non-invasive approach helps you take back control of your body, relieving the pain in knees, hips, shoulder, or back. No invasive surgery, no harmful drugs or steroids, and no downtime. Listen, summertime needs to be about having fun and making memories. Golfing, hiking, enjoying the outdoors. Take control now and start living pain-free again. Call now for your free consultation with QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517.
Delivery's at the door. Can someone please unlock?
It's been an eventful afternoon with a spike in bookings at Claudia's event space.
We'd love to host Mermaid Fest.
She was already planning on having more event planners on hand.
500? That's a lot of tails.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It is time to talk about the first round of injuries around NFL training camps. As I said, to start off the program, everybody will be in training camp by Wednesday. For some reason, Pittsburgh's the last holdout. Like, everybody starts camp either today or tomorrow, except for Pittsburgh. They're the only team that starts on a Wednesday, and everybody reports at the same time.
I heard Ross Tucker try to explain why that happens, and I can't remember exactly what it was. It's something about the CBA. That determines when you report.
Gotcha.
I also feel the burning urge to say this. If you've been trying to contact me over the last, 3 days, I have a cell phone that is now working for the government. It has a mind of its own. It works only when it wants to. I got like 28 Facebook messages at one time, and I went, nope, I don't want to deal with that right now. The other layer of that is we are putting the finishing touches on the Mullet Man of the Canadan Fantasy Draft Spectacular. And every time we have something like Nyheim Hines happen, we have to go back, start again.
Start it all over again. So apparently while I was gone and Chief Zach was in here. Apparently, he said Nyheim Hines was going to be the feature back for the Buffalo Bills.
No, he
season.
said Damian Harris was going to be the feature back.
Okay.
Which I didn't agree with then. I agree with slightly more now. But I would say it makes it much more likely that you're going to see another running back in Buffalo.
Well, Nyheim Hines, he was a special teams ace for them last year. You remember the big run back that he had after the DeMar Hamlin game and all of that. It was a very touching moment, but that, unfortunately, depending on how serious his injuries are, could be the last big memory we have of Nyheim Hines in the NFL, because he was in an accident, a jet ski accident, over the weekend with, quote, serious injuries. I don't know the extent to this. They haven't released any of that, but what we do know is that Nyheim Hines was on a jet ski sitting stationary in the water when another jet ski crashed into him.
Yeah, as I've gone down the rabbit hole today, it appears that it's an ACL injury. So it's not.
Well, that's good news.
It's not as bad as it originally sounded.
Right, because when I originally read that, I went, "Oh God!" That could have just crushed his leg. Like,
jet skis are one of those things I'll just never understand. I don't get why people. Because I've never.
They're fun. You ever ridden one?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've also never heard a jet ski story that didn't end in, and Billy skidded across the top of the lake like a rock. I mean, there are a lot of things that are fun. You probably ought not do that, especially not the week camp starts.
Right.
But now the fallout of that is now I'm looking at Buffalo going, well, James Cook just became probably the safest running back in the NFL. Because he's the only one on the roster that could catch a cold if you dunked him in water and sat him in a freezer.
Right.
But what happens from there? Do they bring in another back? I mean, there's a slew of them out there. One of them that just so happens to have the same last name as the one you already have.
Yep, James's brother Dalvin obviously is out there.
And I think that's going to take a little bit of time. These latest allegations against him are going to have to be sifted through.
What did I miss?
It's a domestic thing. I don't know all the details, but it's causing certain teams to go, ooh.
That there could be something in the future. I get it. I get not wanting to have a part of that. They've got Latavius Murray and Damian Harris both behind James Cook right now. Cook's the clear number one.
I can't say he's the clear one.
Really?
He's the safest one. Because Latavius Murray's not a great pass catcher, and Damian Harris has just never done it. I don't know if he can do it or not. He was never asked to.
But you think the coaches in that room, like they've got the board, James Cook's not on the top of it and wasn't before this?
Well, I mean, you haven't even really started camp yet. So any of those things, to me, would be a fool's errand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, James Cook is not look, we like the talent. We talked about him a lot coming in the draft process. It's not like Bijan Robinson, where you invested such heavy draft capital.
True.
So, I mean, I just can't tell you that. I would say that's probably how it goes. I can also see a path where it turns into a big old gross fest where 60% of James Cook's touches are on receiving downs. And then Latavius Murray becomes the first down back, and you get Damian Harris sprinkled in there, and none of them mean squat. Which is also that's in the vein of possibilities.
Right. Nyheim Hines, 26 years old. He's going to miss the season, it looks like. Every indication we've had is they expect the surgeries that he's going to have to undergo because of this jet ski accident are going to take him out for the entire season. So bad luck already for the Buffalo Bills. Then the Detroit Lions. Non-contact injury, first day of camp, C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
There's a but to this one, though. It has been reported no structural damage. He is day-to-day.
Yeah, he got carted off of the field. He did have an MRI, considered day-to-day after the MRI came back clean. So that is good news for them because Detroit, I mean, did you see the interview with Dan Campbell where he was saying, this is getting crazy? The hype around this team is insane, and he's trying to tamp that back because
because you should.
I mean, I know we went 8-2 down the stretch of the season last year, and we did win a competitive game against Green Bay at the end of the year where they were trying to get into the playoffs, and we didn't have a whole lot to play for. But still, expecting us to be the odds-on favorite to take the division and some picking them to make a deep run in the playoffs is a little much for 1 year. That's why I get so crazy about Chicago Bears prognosticators. All the Bears fans that have them making deep runs in the playoffs and winning the division and all that. They didn't get the first pick in the draft by accident. This was the worst team in the NFL last year. The only reason they didn't pick one, remember, is because they traded it.
Oh, that, who's that player for the Chicago Bears that, we talk about him. It's right on the, Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said another stupid thing, and the more he speaks, the more I love him in one way, and he absolutely terrifies me in the other.
Yep.
After the commercial break, we'll get just a bit outside, and then I'll tell you what that was. And depending on what you're looking for out of Justin Fields, you'll either be really happy or you'll call me a conspiracy theorist, and 9 months from now you'll go, that mulleted idiot was right again.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Isolated thunderstorms in from the west, and 60 degrees our low tonight in the valley. Storms few and far between this week. And we'll step on the temperature accelerator, talking about some 90s here in the valley by Wednesday and Thursday later on this week. Mostly sunny Tuesday, high 87 degrees. Rain chances low at around 20%. And a stray storm Wednesday near 90. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If summer is heating up your hiring needs, then you need Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor your first job and get hiring today by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Have your outdoors and running water too. With Luxury Lou, the tasteful solution to portable bathroom rentals. Family-owned and local, Luxury Lou Rental provides modern bathrooms on the go with running water, AC and heating, flushable toilets, and elegant designs. Luxury Loos are perfect for weddings, corporate events, remodels, and more. Don't leave your well-dressed guests to use a dirty porta-potty John.
Ew!
Turn to Asheville natives. Luxury Lou. Visit LuxuryLoosRental.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa"?
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It pays to listen. Open your free iHeartRadio app and listen to this station to be entered to win $5,000. Each day you come back to listen on the iHeartRadio app is another entry. The more you listen, the more chances you have to win. Download the free iHeartRadio app for access to winning like never before.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, we have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingles and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, and we got North Carolina in the news today in the sports world. ESPN's College Game Day. They've announced their first stop in the football season. It's going to be at Bank of America Stadium for the first week of the college season as the North Carolina Tar Heels take on the South Carolina Gamecocks at Bank of America in the Duke's Mayo Opener Classic, whatever they're calling it. Okay. That's going to be good. What was your other choice? Where could game day have gone?
For week one? My choice would have been the upset of the year, the Fighting Mike Houstons at Michigan.
Uh-huh.
I didn't say I was betting it. Although
you just said you were rooting for it.
I will say, my first set of bangers, I feel pretty sure that's probably going to end up in it.
North Carolina, South Carolina, that is going to be coming up at Bank of America Stadium, week one of the college football season. So College Game Day, going to be doing the show from there live. That's cool. And then there was also the announcement today that there's going to be a first in the next 2 years in college basketball where North Carolina will play the Kansas Jayhawks at Kenan, or at the Dean Dome.
If I said if they play them at
they're
Kenan,
not at Kenan.
Really
actually, that'd be kind of cool.
I hope it doesn't rain.
That'd be kind of cool. We could do it outside at the football stadium. No, in the Dean Dome, it's going to be Kansas and Carolina. There's a home-and-home series now, and so in the 24-25 season, North Carolina's going to play at Kansas, which will only be the second time those teams have ever played at Allen Fieldhouse, and they've never played at the Dean Dome, which we will see in the 25-26 season.
I've got people asking me for lines for the first set of weeks. I'm still putting out futures. We got to get a little closer to the guy. I mean, trust me, I'm waiting with bated breath as well. My story also comes from the world of college football.
Okay.
And our old buddy, Paul Feinbaum. And for once, I actually agree with him. You did the story last week of SEC Media Days, and that Georgia was the favorite to win the East.
Yes.
Alabama was a very narrow favorite to win the West. But you might have buried a headline.
What's that?
So the way media voting works is that every credentialed member of SEC Media gets a vote in this poll. There are somewhere in the neighborhood of just under 300 votes. Well, Georgia got 265 of them to win the East.
Okay.
Tennessee got 14. South Carolina got 3. Kentucky got 1. Florida and Missouri both got 0. But then you get to the bottom of the East, and you see that Vanderbilt finishes dead last in the East, but somehow got 8 first-place votes.
Oh, my gosh.
And Paul Feinbaum went absolutely bonkers on this, saying, you're making a mockery of the process.
Yeah.
I appreciate what Media Day is, but when I see that, I really begin to wonder about people's right to vote. And I know that sounds crazy because I've always been a big believer in democracy.
Oh my God.
But democracy has to do with being qualified to vote for the SEC. Now, you know where I'm headed with this.
Oh no.
I'm a big fan of IQ tests. You should have to pass an IQ test before you're allowed to vote for anything.
It's ridiculous. And I agree with Paul. I mean, does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? No, a preseason poll doesn't mean all that much. But still, it's an exercise.
If you're just going to make a mockery of it, then why even do it?
Exactly. It's an exercise to get a feel of where everybody's at. If you've got 8 guys on the panel who just don't care and they go, oh, this is stupid.
I'm a Vanderbilt guy. Vanderbilt, best team in the country.
Yeah.
Go Doors.
Then you don't get a vote anymore.
No, we don't allow you to vote anymore.
Take this seriously,
and you know what?
Or get out.
And I think that is a mantra that we could carry to other things. then it's pretty sound advice. I'm not saying you got to be smart. You just got to know who you're voting for.
Yeah. No,
you ever play trivia?
Mm-hmm.
You ever go to one of those bar trivia nights and they hand you the sheet and it's got 10 people on it and you have to write in who they are? I've always said that we should do that with voting. Like, if you don't know who they are, your vote doesn't. You cast it, we're just going to shred it the minute you walk out the door because you don't know what you're doing.
It's a little different voting on preseason polls.
One of them doesn't matter. That's what it scares me considerably
but
more
that's
the other way.
Thing. This is supposed to be a vote of people who are supposed to be in the know.
Yes.
You're supposed to know or have a good idea of how things can unfold. If somebody walked in to a book and put down $1,000 on Vanderbilt to win the SEC East, the book would go, okay, thank you for that. That's a great little deposit.
They wouldn't laugh that hard.
That's a little great deposit that you just made. We appreciate it.
They'd be like, sweet, we can get 4 shrimp cocktail with that.
And if one of your buddies did that, y'all would have a soap party for him.
I would thoroughly enjoy. I actually want to. This gives me a good idea. Of the stupidest bet I get sent every week, I think we should wrap that into bangers. Every single year that we've done the show, we've made bangers slightly bigger than they were the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
That may have to be. Just everybody send me your betting slips. You do it anyway. And if you tell me in the chat, I don't, photographic proof.
Should.
Yeah, I got screenshots. I always remember that. I don't delete anything.
Right.
And that could be fun of, hey, this is a 14-leg parlay somebody sent me that survived about 11 minutes.
I've always felt this way, though, about all of the polls, not just preseason polls, but during the middle of the season or whatever. Like, if you're a coach and you have a vote in the coaches poll, and we can prove that you didn't do it, like we can prove somebody else put that in for you, you don't get a vote anymore.
Well, here's my question. Why can we not do this like Survivor? You remember that old show Survivor?
Yep.
Where you had to vote somebody off the island, and you walk up, and you have to unfurl the piece of paper? That's what we should do with Media Days.
Yeah.
And that way, we get to see your video, and then we go, hey, there's Bill. Bill voted for Vanderbilt. Bill's a moron. We're not friends with Bill anymore. Bill, next year, Media Days are in, I don't know, what's the worst city I can think of? Jacksonville, Florida. At least you get to have a good time.
Right.
It's not the worst city I can think of.
Right.
I mean, you'll get a lot further if you look like me.
I always felt this way about the polls. Like when Steve Spurrier had a vote in the coaches poll, he would always throw a preseason vote to Duke's way because they gave him his first job. I mean, is it really pertinent that he gets his 25th team that gives him a vote? No. But it's still, to me, like Paul Feinbaum said, a mockery of the process. Because Duke sucks. There's no reason to give them a preseason vote. Or at least there wasn't when Steve was doing it.
I was about to say, you could do worse right now. You could do worse right now. And I also started something in the chat, and I knew I was going to, of what is the worst city you could possibly think? I think universally we need to come up with that, so I stop shading cities that don't deserve it. Because Jacksonville's not a terrible city. It's just a place that you know going in, pack your jorts.
Yeah.
Let your mullet down. Yeah. Let it breathe. Have a piece of clothing that is adorned with an American flag. You do those 3 things, you might be the mayor of that town by the time you leave. And at least be better at shotgunning a beer than that girl was at that Luke Combs concert. Did you see that video?
Do
you know what I'm talking about?
What?
Well, Luke Combs shotguns Miller Lights at every concert he does.
Okay.
Well, he loves to open them and hand them to people. Well, there's a girl in the front row in Charlotte, of which, you didn't really show this state particularly well. It's Luke's home state. He hands it to her, and she puts it to her mouth, and she goes to open it. If you've ever done this, you know that you got to open the can, and she missed the hole. she had put it up the wrong direction, and so it just shot straight out the can.
Oh yeah, she was trying
and then she tried to play it off like, yeah. Look, Becky, we saw all the beer go that way. You did this not correctly.
Right. She opens the top of it. She still got her mouth on the bottom of the can, and then she tilted it so it spilled out of the hole instead of holding it up so it can let the air flow through.
I'm proud to say I'm a man that has shotgunned a beer with Luke Combs, and I have beaten him more than once.
Hell yeah.
And that's my claim to fame. That and people all the time think I'm him. Don't press me on that too much, because I will. Yeah, it's fine. I'm Luke Combs. But, I mean, you want me to sign something? I'm going to sign it with my name. But you're going to take the show.
I'd sign it with his name.
You're going to that's like forgery. I'm not going to do that. I'll sign it with my name. People go, hey, Luke Combs signed my thing. Why did he sign it Jeremy Green? I think you got duped.
I feel like as long as you're not signing an official document, that's not going to come back to haunt you. I got Luke Combs' autograph. That's not Luke Combs' autograph. Yeah, it is. I met him.
He was really tall.
Well, that's weird because he's playing in, California today. You didn't meet him today.
Mm-mm. No, he wasn't at a golf course in Black Mountain. And when he signed your golf bag, it wasn't Luke Combs.
He did. He just got on the helicopter.
I'm going to keep telling that story until somebody comes out and goes, oh, wait. I was that guy. I was that guy that accosted you, accusing you of being Luke Combs, and you're not.
All right, we had some technical difficulties when we went off the air on Friday.
Hold on, before we get on that rabbit hole, we got to pay off Justin Fields. All right.
Oh yeah, that's right. You wanted to throw some more Justin Fields shade.
It's not shade. It's not. It's really not. But I've now heard this for a handful of days because apparently Colin Cowherd went on a tirade about this. Well, reporters in Chicago got to him again this weekend, and he just keeps doing these things that scream to me, I'm right that you're not a franchise quarterback. This weekend they asked him about his goals for the season. Now, you don't know what I'm getting ready to say because I didn't tell you this before the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, as somebody that I believe the Bears are markedly better than much of mainstream media does.
Okay.
What would you want that answer to be? Justin, what's your goals for 2023?
We want to grow as a team and win as many games as possible.
That's, you know what? Uh-oh. Old Ham Hands broke his belt. There it is. Probably shouldn't have a cord wrapped around it. That would be a good answer.
Yeah.
You know what his answer was? I want to throw for 4,000 yards and rush for 1,000. Yep, that's, you know who would never say that? Patrick Mahomes would never say that. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Every high-level quarterback, every franchise guy would not say that. Now, where I love that is if he's on my fantasy team. Because, and I'm going to be honest with you, the mock draft that we put out after this show, yeah, I take Justin Fields much higher than you would think. And part of it is because of that. Because I think he has a chip on his shoulder, and I don't know that it's ever going to go away.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's always going to have that need to prove himself because he's been doubted everywhere he's been.
I'm so glad you said that because I was going to call him just a moron for thinking he has been doubted anywhere ever. All right, so let me hear where this doubt has come from.
Mm-hmm.
He was the number 2 recruit in the nation.
Yep.
And who was he behind? It's probably some bum offensive tackle. No, it was Trevor Lawrence. That's who he was 2 to. Then he goes to Georgia, and he doesn't play immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Kirby Smart's history at Georgia. Young guys don't hardly ever play, especially at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
It's next man, or it's everybody waits their turn. That's how he goes.
Yep.
That's how Stetson Bennett wound up as the starting quarterback of the Georgia Bulldogs. Then he goes to Ohio State. And everything's hunky-dunky. And he goes, 11th in the NFL draft after the Chicago Bears trade up to get him.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one slight in anything that I just said.
No.
Nowhere.
No.
This is manufactured. I've been doubted. No, you've given us a reason to doubt you.
Okay.
There is a huge difference between those two things.
Mm-hmm.
When you do nothing that makes me go, wait, and I doubt you anyway, that's a reason to have a chip on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
You have none of that. None of it. saying you're one of the 5 greatest rushing quarterbacks of all time. A, incredibly stupid. B, incredibly tone deaf. And if I'm Chicago, I have to be looking around going, are you doing this on purpose? Like, are you intentionally every single time you open your mouth trying to say the stupidest thing you can possibly say? We just gave you everything you could possibly want. A little humility. Mm-hmm. Just a little. That's all I'm asking for. Be a team guy. One time. One. And he can't do it.
No.
He cannot do it.
No. Because he does have that chip on his shoulder, because he feels like he has been doubted, because at every stage he's had his detractors. And it seems like the detractors have outweighed the people on his bandwagon when he was at Georgia fighting for playing time. Obviously, he couldn't get the start because Jake Fromm was there, and we all understood that because Jake had put in the work. Jake was the starter.
Mm-hmm. And then what did he do?
And then he went to Ohio State.
He transferred away because as Jake Fromm was going out the door, he transferred away because the job wasn't handed to him.
And he put up numbers at Ohio State.
And you can give me the reason he gave. Nobody has ever confirmed that. And frankly, I don't care.
Yeah. He went to Ohio State. He put up numbers at Ohio State, but then then you had the loud chorus of people, oh, well, I mean, he was fine college quarterback, but there's never been an Ohio State quarterback that's ever been any good.
And I could make the argument that he had the greatest receiver room that has ever existed in college football.
Sure. But he doesn't look at it that way. He looks at the insults that came his way. And then he goes to the Chicago Bears, and he's not great, but he still thinks he's an all-pro level quarterback, or can be, and nobody believes he can be. I mean, that's where it comes. I mean, his ego does not fit inside his helmet, right? I feel like he carries
I don't know
that
it's
around.
That. I really don't know that it's that. I feel like he thinks he has been slighted all of these times, and Tim Raymond had a great point in our YouTube comments. He said he wasn't saying any of this when his main receiver was Tank. No, what he said back then was, I'm the greatest rushing quarterback of all time. Mm-hmm. He just recently put that in list form. I don't want my quarterback. There's a huge difference between ego and cocky and confident. And I feel like Justin Fields is much more the former and not the latter. Mm-hmm. And that makes me love you for fantasy football. And as a franchise, if I'm the Chicago Bears, I would be absolutely terrified.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Well, the prognostications for the Open Championship didn't really go Jeremy's way.
Well, Hideki Matsuyama won me plenty of money on DraftKings.
So. Well, good for that.
Apparently, 80% of people lost at least 2 of their team on the first 2 days.
What's left to wager on tonight? Oh, baseball bangers coming up next in Green on Green.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Grab your golf clubs and get ready for the 2023 Mike Tweed Memorial Rocket Open at the Ken Muir Country Club. Monday, July 31st, it's a 12 noon shotgun start. Each team entry includes 2 mulligans per player, a long drive contest, closest to the pin, and a par 3 challenge. Plus, there's a box lunch and door prizes as well. All the proceeds benefit AC Reynolds Rocket Football. To get signed up, contact Joey Green at 828-243-8076 or email bigjoegreen7@gmail.com.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents, expert advice.
And there's number 4.
The $5 Cravings Box is back at Taco Bell, and it's the real thing. We're talking a Chalupa Supreme, a cheesy, beefy 5-layer burrito, a crunchy taco, cinnamon twist, and a medium drink, all for just $5. That's a lot of food for not a lot of dollars. In other words, a wise business deal, like greeting clients with a firm handshake and a delicious 3-course meal. That's only $5. Order your $5 Cravings Box on the Taco Bell app today. At limited participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for price and participation which vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Price excludes tax.
Coffee still closes on. Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Well, it wasn't the coming back together that I had hoped between Hideki Matsuyama and myself at the Open Championship, but congratulations to Brian Harman, a guy that worked really hard and might be the most competitive person I've ever seen in my life with a wire-to-wire at the Open that made this a really anticlimactic weekend, which that part makes me sad. But congratulations to Brian Harman. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. We're back to baseball, and you know I only do this when I don't have anything else because it takes me about 3 times longer to find a banger in baseball as it does any other sport. But I got a couple for you. Tonight, Baltimore Orioles, Philadelphia Phillies, over the 9.5, minus 125 for the Phillies to win. Look, Baltimore's very, very good. They're the most surprising team in baseball. Nobody could possibly have seen this coming 2 years ago when they were absolutely horror-awful. But I look at Philadelphia and just go, this is going to be one of those weird anticlimactic games where somebody gets out to a lead. You're going to hit the over in the 4th inning, and I feel like it's going to be Philadelphia. The betting market has moved so much that I feel like somebody knows something. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I'm going with them. Give me the Phillies minus 125 over 9.5. On the exact opposite side of that coin, interdivision matchup, Texas Rangers, Houston Astros. I'm backing the Astros minus 105, and I'm going aggressively under the 9. Baseball has been on a tear of hitting overs, and anytime I see a number start coming down by more than a run from day to day, that tells me that the pitching matchup, which I already liked, is enough to push the number down and that I should be backing that side. So I'm going under the 9, minus 105 with the Houston Astros. For more, follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles, love the winnings with me. Mullet out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Isolated thunderstorms in from the west, and 60 degrees our low tonight in the valley. Storms few and far between this week. And we'll step on the temperature accelerator, talking about some 90s here in the valley by Wednesday and Thursday later on this week. Mostly sunny Tuesday, high 87 degrees. Rain chances low at around 20%. And a stray storm Wednesday near 90. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Big deals on better sleep are here early. It's Black Friday now at Mattress Firm. Save up to $600 and score a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. See a Mattress Firm sleep expert today to find your perfect bed and get 120 nights to make sure it's right.
The extracurricular activities, the traffic, the nightly homework, the traffic, the finding time to eat dinner together as a family, the traffic. Back to school can be stressful. Thanks to Ziploc, meal prep doesn't have to be. New Ziploc bags with Stay Open design have a patented stand-up bottom that helps keep the bag upright and a top crease that folds and holds for easy filling, unlocking a second set of hands in the kitchen. If only it unlocked a second set of lanes. New Ziploc brand freezer and storage bags with Stay Open design from S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Staples has great prices on back-to-school essentials, and right now you can save an additional $10 on your in-store purchase of $50 or more. At Staples, school savings are always in session. Ends July 29th. Exclusions apply. School on, save on at Staples.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
Are you hungry for the inside scoop of women's soccer?
I'm Sam Mewis.
And I'm Lynn Williams.
And we're professional soccer players, best friends, and the hosts of Snacks, the only women's soccer podcast hosted by active players that gets into the most recent news, gossip, and fun of the NWSL, the women's national team, and the delightful, delicious world of Snacks.
It's a weekly show that features great guests from the world of women's soccer, recaps and previews of the biggest matches, and the two of us hanging out with you.
You can listen to Snacks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the England Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
I'm Christine Lisi. Some optimism emerging on one of the Lions' key additions this offseason. ESPN's Field Yates reports an MRI on defensive back C.J. Gardner-Johnson's injured right knee showed no structural damage. He's considered day-to-day. Bills' key special teams and offensive player Nyheim Hines expected to miss the season, injured his left ACL when he was struck by a jet ski. Training camp continues for the Chiefs without all-pro defensive tackle Chris Jones has yet to report as he seeks a new contract, looking for a deal to make him the second highest paid player in the NFL at his position. And he deserves that, believes ESPN's Ryan Clark.
The only two players on this team more valuable to the Kansas City Chiefs than Chris Jones are Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. And we know that both of those future Hall of Famers are so important to what they do offensively. Chris Jones is that exact thing on the defensive side of the football.
Second overall pick in the NFL draft, C.J. Stroud agreed to his rookie deal with the Texans. Fourth overall pick, Anthony Richardson, agreed to his rookie contract with the Colts.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from your friends at ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Green, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 second hour of the program. Don't forget to watch us everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat, and you too can get on the riveting conversation of, are the Beatles overrated, yes or no? And the answer is quite obviously no, but some of you have horrible taste in music.
Well, I just, I find it funny that Friday you derided the most underrated band in the history of music, Creed. Later this week, you can get your tickets to Summer of '99 cruise and go enjoy it with me. I told Amy on Friday, like, we're gonna be on this boat, and I need you to be okay with that.
I'm gonna bet you don't. A week before the NFL draft, I'm gonna bet you don't.
Yeah, that's really the biggest hang-up. That would be a lot of leg work that went into that. But for Creed, dude, if you're ever gonna do it, that's why you do it.
For Creed,
you buy the Wi-Fi package.
Not even good enough for the third mention on their tour, but or on the boat. But okay, yeah,
they're the headliner on the boat.
I thought Three Doors Down was the headliner.
Creed's if I need to, I got the flyer. Creed's the headliner.
Ugh, that's gross. Did you pull that off the Creed website? Because I guarantee everybody else on that boat goes, yeah, we're the headliners.
Yeah, no, I pulled it directly off the Norwegian Cruise Line release of this is what we're doing. Let's go.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So anyhow, yeah, it's always fun. Anyway, I'm wearing my Beatles shirt today, and that's why the conversation got started.
Yes, and I've been rewriting Beatles songs all day just to see how badly I have to crucify one of these songs to drive Tank completely crazy.
It's not. It's like anything. Like, you have a friend that has a very horrible take on whatever that is. They can say whatever they want to. It's absolute lunacy. And you just discard it and move along. Every time he tries to tell me that Creed's the most underrated band ever. No. Underrated? Definitely not a word that would describe Creed.
You're a hater.
This is why how far did they advance in the overrated bands bracket that we did?
You know, and there's actually my weird news story today. It also has something to do with that.
Interesting.
So, I'm just saying.
Interesting. All right, so over the weekend, the NFL running backs came together on a Zoom call. It was a bunch of them, and they got together to talk about what can we do since we're not being paid. And the end of the conversation was nothing. We can't do a darn thing about it. Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs were just some of the names that were included in this Zoom call. And I get where they're coming from. I said this last week. I understand that you want to be paid more, but the NFL, they don't care. They don't care about you anymore. And there's not a solution to this. I've heard all of the dumb possible solutions that we could do for this. We need a special rookie contract structure for running backs where they get paid more than everybody else, every other position.
That is stupid because I can kill every one of these. If you do that, you will never see a running back drafted in the first round ever again.
Absolutely
it will
not.
Never happen. Not ever again.
No.
I heard a long debate, I believe it was on Dan Patrick this morning, that would this have happened to Eric Dickerson or whatever else? No. It's not happening to Derrick Henry either. I mean, he could possibly get a third contract. I don't think it's incredibly likely. But, I mean, this is the name of the game. And I don't know why anybody all of a sudden cares.
Because it's worse now than it ever has been.
It really hasn't. Name me the last running back that lasted really at all into their 30s. A Priest
Adrian
Holmes?
Peterson, maybe?
Who was a mediocre third running back on 6 teams because he wouldn't let go. And guess what? These guys could do the same thing. You want to know why Ezekiel Elliott's not signed yet? Because he cannot wrap his brain around the fact that he's a minimum contract level running back.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Leonard Fournette. Same thing with Kareem Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Dalvin Cook. I can keep doing this. It makes much more sense for us to just go draft a kid in the 3rd round who's got all the tread on the tires, and we'll run a 3-headed monster. Look how many teams could use Dalvin Cook or could use Leonard Fournette.
Mm-hmm.
None of them have shown any interest.
You're not going to pay them. You're not going to pay them what they think they're worth.
Exactly.
You're not going to pay them what they've been used to, and that's the big problem.
This is basic supply and demand. That's all it is. We live in a capitalist society, all right? If there is a absolute surplus of supply, what happens to the demand? It goes down.
Mm-hmm.
If there's an insane demand for something that there's very limited supply of, then the price goes up. That's what happened with quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
There are only a handful of elite quarterbacks. And then there's a slew more that, well, they might be. You never know. Give them a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we take 5 quarterbacks in the first round. or 4 quarterbacks or 3 or whatever we've done for the last handful of years, minus the Kenny Pickett year.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, you had 5 broken toys to some shape, form, or fashion, and 4 teams still thought they had found their franchise quarterback. It's not a solvable problem. And the only solution to it is you figure out, well, the market dictates that we make about $2 million. That's what Joe Mixon did. And weird, Joe Mixon's not on the free agent line with the rest of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because he went, here, take back a bunch of money. I did some dumb things, and I really like my job.
I was going to say, there were some extenuating circumstances with that as well, and you understand why he did it. And I'll continue to say I do feel bad for the guys who got caught in this era because they trained their whole lives to be running backs, and now running backs aren't getting paid. And, years ago, you could have transformed yourself into something else, but you can't do that now.
And I still maintain, you keep saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Name me the running back we're talking about here that's more than 28 years old. That's the oldest one I can think of.
Okay.
So we've been trending this way for 10 solid years. Now it's been like a leaky faucet. It's been a gradual drip, but you had to see this coming.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I mean, if you've got an IQ above salad dressing, you knew we were going to get to this point.
At some point, yes.
And you didn't think it was going to happen in your career. Oh, you didn't look at your college coach and go, hey, I came in as an athlete. Maybe I should catch passes. Oh, no, because most of you are short. That's where most of you became running backs.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. And I have absolutely no idea why this has become a thing now. Frankly, I'm tired of hearing about it. And all of these solutions, you want to accelerate this? Try any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Take this to the owners and say, yeah, well, if you take a running back in the first round, now you only get 3 years of them. Cool, never do it again.
Nope.
Won't even come close. Don't do it very often right now. Had one go at 8 this year because it wasn't a great draft on the top side, and he's special.
Mm-hmm.
And weird. Bijan Robinson won't struggle to get a second deal.
Yep. The next he'll never get paid poster child is Isaiah Pacheco. 7th round pick by the Kansas City Chiefs.
But he's also the example
under contract.
Of why this is happening.
He will be under contract until he's 28 and never get paid.
Well, he signed a, I think it was a 3-year deal.
And if he gets
he'll get paid once. All of these guys get paid once. It's not $12 million a year. That's the thing that kills me. The ones that are complaining about this the most vocally are the ones making 8 figures.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these guys won't make 8 figures in their life.
Which is the point. They're such a big piece of the offense. Why shouldn't they have a bigger piece of the pie monetarily?
All
Look
right.
at like Najee Harris. His rookie season, he had 381 carries. He was like 60% of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
Mm-hmm. And in year 2, he was absolutely horror-awful.
And it cost them like, I don't know, just a couple of million.
Okay, let's play a fun game. Name me the running back in this league that if you take him off that team, they just crater. All of a sudden now you are awful. And you can replace him with a running back that's on the team. You don't even go sign another one.
Mm-hmm.
Just you replace them with the backup. Christian McCaffrey, most talented running back in this league.
Yep. I got Elijah Mitchell behind him.
There you go. Does the offense crater? No.
I mean, it'll take a dip.
Oh, weird. They were in the top 10 in offense before Christian McCaffrey showed up.
Mm-hmm.
That's not cratering. Tennessee Titans, that's who I'm waiting for somebody to say. One Nation Underground said it. They're not going to be good with him. I mean, literally, that offense is going to be grinding to a standstill with Derrick Henry. That's a team that has fully committed to running back.
Mm-hmm.
Fact or fiction. They paid him. He's one of the highest paid members of the offense outside of the quarterback, which you'll never, I highly doubt you'll ever see a time outside of rookies where a running back makes more than the quarterback does.
Right.
And weird, that offense has regressed every single year. Why is that? Because it's passing league. I have used the example I am getting ready to give my entire adult life. I did this in sales seminars for 15 years. In the 70s, there was somebody, somewhere, that was the best typewriter salesman on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And then Steve Jobs showed up. And that guy had 2 options. I can either die on my shield as the best typewriter salesman on the planet, or I'm going to go learn how to sell a Macintosh because that's where there is actual demand. And that's where I look at with these running backs. Oh, it's so sad. You should have seen this coming for many years. We have had a daily show for 3.5 years. I'm pretty sure I said this was coming the first day we ever did this. And I know I had said it for a long time before that. I would not let my kid play running back, period. There is no reason for you to put your body through that.
Yeah.
And if I'm that smart, a lot of other people should have been too. Because I got news for you. The Alvin Kamaras of the world, the Saquon Barkleys of the world, Miles Sanders, I could do this with a bunch of these guys. They'd have found a way. You might have been a slot receiver. Might have been. You might have been a corner. You'd have found a way to get in this league.
Sure.
You chose running back because that was the position that had a lot of glamour. You went down that rabbit hole, and now here you are.
Yep.
And there's nothing you can do to fix this. You can whine about it until the cows come home.
I agree.
It doesn't matter.
They had the Zoom call. They all want to get together, and like I said last week, the only path forward is if you want to create an RBU, the running back union or whatever, with inside the NFLPA.
You will not exist in this league.
Congratulations, you organized. You're not going to win this fight. You're not going to convince owners to start pouring money into a position that's not important anymore.
Yeah, and what you just said, is against the collective bargaining agreements. You can't do it in the first place. But even if you could, they've devalued you without that. I don't know why this is so hard for people in this day and age to understand. Just because you want something does not make it true. And the more you put your fingers in your ears and, no, I'm not going to do it, you're going to learn today. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You're going to learn today.
Josh Jacobs says he has no plans to show up for camp for the Las Vegas Raiders, which he shouldn't. I mean, if they're not going to invest in you long term, then I'm not coming in for things that don't matter. I'll be there week 1, and we'll see how it goes.
Here's how stupid that is. He gets fined $50,000 a day. There is nothing the team can do about it. Nothing. So you're whining because you wanted to be paid more. You now physically cannot be paid more, and now you're just going to go, yeah, I'll cut you a check for $50,000 every day.
Yeah, I'm going to give money back.
That math don't math. Patrick Holt asked, so is the running back position going to disappear like fullback did? Yes. Yes, it 100% is.
Really? Okay.
Okay, so ask yourself this question. You have told me this time and time again, that until I came along, you never paid as close of attention to the draft as you do now.
Right.
Have you noticed that every class of running backs gets slightly worse and slightly worse and slightly worse? This just got vocal. This is the loudest this has ever been. We've had no more than one top 20 talented running back per class for the last 4 years. It hasn't been, there has literally not been one time it hasn't been the case. Go back and look at draft classes 20 years ago. Weird. Where'd that come from? And now you get loud about this. What do you think that 18-year-old kid that plays running back, what do you think they're doing right now? Yeah, I'll go catch passes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So will there still be a running back? Absolutely. Much like there's still a fullback with some teams. Look, there are college teams right now that don't care about running the football in the least. And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Absolutely.
There are a ton of Dana Holgersons out there that run only when you start selling out against 5 wides.
Running back is being phased out as a premium position, but it'll always exist. There'll always be somebody in the backfield to play that role, whether it be keeping him on passing downs to pick up the blitz or whatever. There will still be run plays here and there. There will still be guys to dump off to, but you're going to see way more of that than you ever have.
I don't know that I agree with you. I mean, I agree in that the position will exist. I go back to supply and demand. How often do you think you're going to see elite top 300 ESPN 300 guys go, let me go play running back? You're not. You're going to catch the guy that's really fast, usually pretty short. He's not going to be able to do the other things that you could do to get on the field. That's why you play running back, because you have to. I mean, you're already seeing it. It's going to keep happening. And so I could easily see a path that this gets into that hybrid role that you've talked about with like Deebo Samuel, where you're going to line up as a receiver, and when they sell out against the pass, we're going to slide you in motion, you're going to line up next to the quarterback, and you're going to run up the middle. And it's going to be, and then that will be the next devalued position because you guys are aging like dairy products because we're asking you to run into a wall at full speed 15 times a game.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll be the next one to complain.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep doing this.
Yeah. Over and over and over again. Satisfied Browns fan asked in the comments he wants the answers on are J.K. Dobbins and Clyde Edwards-Helaire draft busts.
Edwards-Helaire, absolutely.
Clearly CEH. He was taken at the end of the first round.
And you could have had Jonathan Taylor at the same position.
Exactly. J.K. Dobbins, I still feel like jury's out on him because of the injury.
He was a second-round pick. I mean, you use a second-round pick on a running back, it's hard for me to say he was a bust.
Mm-hmm.
You had one catastrophic knee injury. Could I also see him being a top 10 back this year? Absolutely. Especially if they decide to stop using 14 running backs. They seem to be overloading the apple cart with receivers now, so maybe we don't have to see 7 Baltimore running backs every single year.
Yeah, maybe not, but they just picked up another one, didn't they? Didn't they just add somebody else that's 40 years old?
Yeah, Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon, that's right.
Woo, let the good times roll. Melvin Gordon's still in the NFL, but that's about the 6th time he's been signed, so I think running backs are doing just fine.
You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 26 westbound between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Smoky Park Highway southbound between the Inca area and Sand Hill Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Brevard Road northbound slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the North Carolina Arboretum. Long Shoals Road in the Skyland area, north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Irish Spring, the fresh scent of Irish Spring. And the sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset you need to own the day. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at your local retailer today.
Okay, so we have the car payment, the rent, utilities,
and the repair bill.
What should we do?
I know. I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. I can apply in minutes, get an instant decision, and if approved, we could have the money in our account as soon as the same business day.
When you need money fast, be the hero. Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need now. The exact timing as to when your loan funds will be available will be determined by your banking institution.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
The $5 Cravings Box is back at Taco Bell, and it's the real thing. We're talking a Chalupa Supreme, a cheesy, beefy 5-layer burrito, a crunchy taco, cinnamon twist, and a medium drink, all for just $5. That's a lot of food for not a lot of dollars. In other words, a wise business deal, like greeting clients with a firm handshake and a delicious 3-course meal. That's only $5. Order your $5 Cravings Box on the Taco Bell app today. At limited participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for price and participation which vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Price excludes tax.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
At Ingalls Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Another batch of NFL teams have opened their training camps. Rookies reporting today for several teams, including mine. Everyone.
How excited are you right now?
Oh, woohoo.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Stop.
Tampa Baker Buccaneers.
Just lose, just suck as much as possible.
Yeah, speaking of mock drafts, we got a mock draft.
We do.
Coming out after the show. I think it's probably time for a first-round mock draft for 2024.
Oh, gosh. Looking ahead to the actual NFL draft already?
Oh, already?
Yeah.
When did I stop?
Why would we do that?
Why? When did I stop? Hayes Permore asked me that on Friday. When do you start watching football? I didn't know I stopped. I mean, I've been watching I've already got a top 100 for next year. And by the way,
ridiculous.
This is a year. I mean, I'm not trying to make you feel better here. If there was ever a year that you wanted to be real bad, you could choose many worse years than this one.
Indeed.
That means, well, we always hype up draft classes. At quarterback. We don't always do that going 14 deep with blue chippers. That's where I'm at with the next class. If 3 of those come out and have touched the Space Jam ball, it's still the best class I've ever done.
Right. First fantasy mock draft will be coming out after the show here today.
First 2024 NFL mock draft probably coming out in about a week.
All right. We shall see on that one. Of course, name's on the door. I can't help it. It's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
But as training camps get underway, everybody will be in training camp by Wednesday of this week. And we got some camp battles going on. What are the biggest camp battles that we should be watching?
Well, I do love how we always play this game of when will the rookie quarterback start? Well, Bryce Young's already the starter in Carolina. C.J. Stroud's already the starter in Houston.
By the way, all you Andrew Dalton people, whoever you are out there, I've seen some on social media.
Yeah, they probably do. They all have the last name Dalton? Because that's about the only way I could really understand.
I think all of his cousins got together and got on the Panthers fan page with, he's going to start because Bryce Young's not even under contract yet. That should tell you everything you need to know. The team already said Bryce Young is number 1 on the depth chart, and he didn't even sign a contract until last week.
Yeah, most of the first rounds. Well, I shouldn't say most. I think about half of the first rounders hadn't signed as of Thursday last week. That's not a weird thing.
No, but it tells you everything you need to know about Andrew Dalton and why he was brought here.
I believe in the last 24 hours we've gotten Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud under contract.
Yes.
So don't worry about that.
I think Anthony Richardson will be the last of them, the first rounders to start. I could see Gardner Minshew starting for a few weeks.
I can't.
Really?
I really can't. Because I don't see how you think I don't see how you could be delusional enough to think that you took a quarterback this high and you're going to do what? Put out my mulleted brother to make people feel better?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, Jacksonville's 5 games better than you by putting their uniforms on. So I don't see that. I really don't. The other thing I love this time of year is that as soon as you get to camp, there is some undrafted nobody that you have never heard of who is all of the sudden, the Jets have 2 right now. One plays linebacker, one plays safety. I heard the safety compared to Ed Reed over the weekend from somebody that is way too smart to say something like that.
Okay.
You know better than that. And I like Tony Adams too, but he's fine. It's camp. Always remember that.
Right. Don't get swayed too much by, oh, this guy looks so good.
Yeah, you remember when your Tampa Bay Buccaneers were talking about Jalen Darden being the future at slot corner?
I do remember that.
How'd that work out? And we do this every year. And people fall for it every year.
Of course you do. Because some teams, that's what you hope for. You hope that you're going to find a diamond in the rough, and everybody wants to be that. Like, you asked me earlier, who was it from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? And I didn't have an answer for you then. I do have one now because I just remembered. It's the dude from Syracuse, Sean
Tucker.
Tucker. Thank you. I wanted to say Taylor, and I knew that was wrong.
It's almost always either a running back, a receiver, a safety, or a linebacker.
Yeah, Sean Tucker did great things at Syracuse, racked up a whole bunch of yardage, and now this is the guy. Is it, though?
Oh, just wait. You're going to start hearing it on Rakeem Jarrett before it ain't going to take that long. That's almost become like a fun game for me. I have a little notation on my prospect report of this is a guy that's going to go to camp because in a pair of shorts he looks like Thor.
Mm-hmm.
Then he puts on shoulder pads and actually gets hit when he goes across the middle, and all of a sudden he doesn't look like that
anymore. Biggest camp battles, I mean, there are quarterback battles. San Francisco's the number one to me, but I don't know how much you're going to learn in camp because, I mean, is Brock Purdy going to be ready to participate heavily in camp? Are they going to trot him out there
I love how quiet they've been about that. I really do love how quiet San Francisco's been about that.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not going to talk. Now, meanwhile, they were having formative talks with the Atlanta Falcons about Trey Lance a week ago. What does that tell you? I mean, I've got this pulled up for something else, but it works for this too.
Mm-hmm.
You got to hit my button. Oh,
you got to hit your
I got to hit my button. There it is. Not trying to be a conspiracy theory guy, but you're tapping out. You're tapping out on a guy you took the third pick in the draft for a quarterback that's like 5'10" in a pair of high heels. Mm-hmm. You see how that doesn't make any sense when you say it out loud? Oh, and by the way, he's hurt. He's still hurt. You have absolutely no idea when he's going to be healthy, and yet you talked with the Falcons about Trey Lance a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not speculation. They have both, through back channels, said, yeah, we talked about that.
Yep.
Atlanta believes San Francisco wants too much. San Francisco believes Atlanta's not willing to come off enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that means there'll be no trade there. But the fact that you're even saying this tells me you believe quite a bit in a quarterback you have, and you haven't seen one of them throw anything bigger than a tennis ball in 6 months.
Oh, this is your Sam Darnold theory?
Oh, no
again?
doubt. No doubt. Sam Darnold is going to go to Kyle Shanahan and make me. You roll your eyes.
100%.
It would tell me beyond a shadow of a doubt, would that not be the jettiest thing in the history of time? I closed the button so I can't hit it again.
Go down the rabbit hole.
The Jets take a quarterback at 3 that's supposed to be the savior of the franchise, and googly-eyed Adam Gase breaks him. In the same offseason that we have to trade potentially 2 first-round picks to the Green Bay Packers to get Aaron Rodgers, and then Sam Darnold goes to San Francisco and looks like the guy we drafted. Tell me that wouldn't be the jettiest Jets gonna jet thing you've ever seen in your life.
Mm-hmm. But we believed that possibility when Sam went to Carolina.
Yeah, and he had the 4 greatest games consecutively of any Carolina quarterback ever.
Yeah, that's been a long time ago, though.
And the team was also awful and coached by Matt Rule.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big old difference between Matt Rule and Kyle Shanahan, and I don't care what you think about Kyle Shanahan.
Sam Darnold, clearly.
I could make an argument that old Puddin' Pants Matt Rule might be the biggest bum of a coach that I have ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things I've heard out of Carolina are almost hard to comprehend. That 53 professional NFL football players walked into a room and this came out of his mouth. And they didn't all go, Are you screwing with me right now?
I just think it's funny that San Francisco says they're all in on Brock Purdy, and you're sitting back going, nope, that's not the one. That's not the one. They're really excited about Sam Darnold. They just don't want you to know it. That makes no sense to me at all.
Listen to beat reporters out of San Francisco. It is not hard to figure this out. But just sit back and wait. Oh, see old Lego fireman out there just fulfilling what I said 5 years ago.
We'll see when he gets the call in Week 11 when Brock Purdy goes down.
Oh, if Brock Purdy goes down again, let's say they trot him out there, let him get hit again. I just saying.
There is a camp battle with the San Francisco 49ers at quarterback. Elsewhere, I mean, it's rookies, and all of the rookies are going to start at some point. Bryce Young's the number one in Carolina.
I think they all
they
start
didn't even
week
think
one.
about it. Anthony Richardson, Gardner Minshew. That seems to be the closest. Will he start, will he not?
I cannot physically imagine a path where they look at Gardner Minshew and go, yep, that's what we want to do.
And then C.J. Stroud.
It would be one thing if there was a path to Indianapolis being a playoff team, but I don't see that at all. Now, you're 7 wins at best. The biggest knock on Anthony Richardson is he needs reps. So you're going to take reps away from him for the guy with the goofy mustache that took the pictures outside the state? Really?
Right.
That's the guy. Okay. All right. Whatever.
I feel like San Francisco's in rarefied air here because that's the only good team that we could talk about a quarterback battle, right? I mean, the others, there's definite reason for you to start one of these rookies. San Francisco's the only one that's got anything really worth talking about as far as their potential to win a Super Bowl or to be even competitive in the playoffs.
I mean, you look around the rest of the league, there's not even a battle. You know who the starter is for everybody else.
Pretty much.
People want to make one in Washington. There is no battle there. There is zero battle in that. It is Sam Howell. Period. Until it's not. Now, that might take 6 weeks. But we're going to get 6 weeks to find out. The only other one is the New England Patriots. And I don't think that's as much of a battle as we want to make it.
No, it's Mac Jones.
It shouldn't be.
You invested a first-round draft pick in him. You have
if there
to
was
keep it going.
anybody in the NFL that I think genuinely just does not care about, we invested a first-round pick in him, it would be Bill. Yeah, I got that wrong. And things are getting a little toasty around here, and I don't like it. So if it was Bailey Zapp in Bill's head, I feel like we would already know that. He'd be getting reps with the first team. You would start hearing the I'm not trying to be conspiracy theorist here. I'm really not. But I've heard more talk about Bill being on a hot seat in the last probably 3 weeks than I've heard in the last 20 years.
Because that's what not winning does for you. When you don't win, people go, wait a minute, is it time for a change?
Well, I mean, he never did that without Tom anyway. But
right. 25-25 since Tom left. No playoff wins in that time. People are going to start to question, has the game passed you by?
That is literally, if I was trying to manufacture a quarterback battle, that's the only one I can find. You could convince me one of it's not a battle, and you do it just to drive me nuts.
I do.
Denver's the only other one I could see, and you would have to. I mean, you'd have to have a wheelbarrow to look at Russell Wilson and go, "I'm playing Jared Stidham over you."
Absolutely, which is why it's absolutely ridiculous. You look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and go, Baker Mayfield, he was the worst quarterback in the league last year. Maybe we'll give this guy from Florida a chance. That's a much closer battle than Denver.
I don't agree with you in any way.
Crazy. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. When we get back, we'll get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Isolated thunderstorms in from the west, and 60 degrees our low tonight in the valley. Storms few and far between this week. And we'll step on the temperature accelerator, talking about some 90s here in the valley by Wednesday and Thursday later on this week. Mostly sunny Tuesday, high 87 degrees, rain chances low at around 20%, and a stray storm Wednesday near 90. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
240 westbound, light delays between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound, stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Light delays Hendersonville Road, northbound, approaching Mills Gap Road. Near Avery Creek, Bouvard Road, northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Bouvard Road northbound, delays between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm Lynn Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Right now, save $60 when you buy a DeWalt impact driver or drill for just $99 each. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/2.
Grab your golf clubs and get ready for the 2023 Mike Tweed Memorial Rocket Open at the Ken Muir Country Club. Monday, July 31st, it's a 12 noon shotgun start. Each team entry includes 2 mulligans per player, a long drive contest, closest to the pin, and a par 3 challenge. Plus, there's a box lunch and door prizes as well. All the proceeds benefit AC Reynolds Rocket Football. To get signed up, contact Joey Green at 828-243-8076 or email BigJoeGreen7@gmail.com.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa"?
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. We have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And last week, Jeremy got so excited about the comeback of a just very mid band from the 1990s.
Stop it.
And they're horrible. They're terrible.
You're horrible.
They're terrible.
Summer of 99 Cruise. You can find all the information on our YouTube stream. It's right in between us.
But we're getting the return that we all really wanted to see.
Oh, good. I can already tell this is going to irk me.
And it's coming to us from the great entrepreneur himself, Ryan Reynolds. So Ryan Reynolds is releasing a channel called Maximum Effort. Obviously a nod to the Deadpool character. That's his little catchphrase thing. And on the Maximum Effort channel, I guess this is a new streaming service that I'm just going to have to buy again. He's bringing back Alf. This is what we needed. Alf, one of the greatest television shows of the 1980s, will return on the Maximum Effort channel.
Wasn't Alf, that was the little puppet furry thing?
Yeah, the alien life form, ALF, who loves to eat cats, and crash landed in the garage of the Tanner family. No, not that Tanner family. The real Tanner family of television. Back in 1986, it ran for 4 years, and that was my favorite TV show as a youngster. The fact that we're getting Alf back, brand new Alf content on the Maximum Effort channel, that's the return we needed.
I had an Alf doll. It was off television by the time I didn't poo in my pants anymore.
Because you were born in
87.
In 1987. So it was off the air by 1990. You were 3 years old.
And
I can't wait.
The only thing that hasn't had a reboot in the last 33 years.
The Maximum Effort channel will premiere this Saturday, July the 29th. The channel's first series of Maximum Moments with Alf, creator Paul Fusco, and Shout Studios, along with sponsored content for Mint Mobile, Fubo, Hims, MNTN, and Ring, all featuring Alf himself.
Woo. My story also could potentially have to do with Alf, alien life forms. An unknown object has been pinging Earth with radio signals since the 1980s. This just comes from a recently declassified document. It's a spinning object known as GPMJ 1839-10. It's 15,000 light years away and has been hitting the planet with sporadic radio bursts since at least 1988. Now, you're a classic radio guy.
Mm-hmm.
What's weird about that? Radio waves don't go in that span. They ping about every second. These hit about every 22 minutes.
Okay.
They can't figure out what it is. So there's a thought that it is a magnetar. That's what a magnetar is. It's a slow spinning neutron star. The only problem is it doesn't do the same things that a magnetar would do, and that has been debunked by several scientists saying it can't possibly be that. We don't know what it is, but we know it's not that. And now random radio waves since the 80s. How old is Scott Stapp? I'm saying, I'm not a big fan of coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
He was in his late 20s and the mid 90s. Do the math. It's probably about the time Creed started pumping out bangers. It was about the time that the aliens wanted to listen in to what they could hear. I'm just saying. And now we find out about it right after Creed Fest 99 is announced. Just saying. Truth's out there.
It's so ridiculous.
Truth's out there, folks.
Absolutely.
And you know what they want? More Creed bangers. That's what they want. They come in peace.
Uh-huh. It is the
just want to rock
Sportsocracy.
out to My Sacrifice. Let's go.
We are just hours away, if you want to think about it, from every NFL team being in training camp. We need to continue with our off-season files.
Before we do that, we've got our first one of these of the day.
I'm your huckleberry.
There you go.
I changed nothing, and it didn't work the first time, and it worked the second time. It's from our buddy Chris D. He just did a draft. Wound up with Bijan Robinson, Nick Chubb, Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Fields, Brandon Ayuk. Hey, does that sound familiar?
That's oddly familiar.
It sounds oddly like you took the two teams that we're getting ready to draft in a video that will be released right after this here program on the YouTube stream.
And put them all into one.
So I could literally tell you, going all the way down that, it looks like he drafted 16. I think 14 of the guys you drafted were drafted between Tank and myself. So, yeah, we'll say that you did pretty well. Indeed. And that should be a team that you're striving to draft as you go into your fantasy footballing.
Right. Off-season files continue here in the Sportsocracy. Do we want to touch on New Orleans real quick since we missed out?
Well, we talked about New Orleans, but we were having computer chaos, as you do. And that one I can't even blame that one on Charter. That one was my fault.
Yeah. But we were not on the YouTubes for the last segment of Friday's show. And so the New Orleans Saints, what's your overall take on them?
Well, it all goes back to you have to be better offensively. It's almost not physically possible that you won't be better offensively.
Mm-hmm.
The Alvin Kamara thing has I think we know where that's at now. You're not getting a suspension there, and if you do, it'll be a game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2. You've got Jamal Williams. You've got Kendre Miller. That's enough to sustain you for 2 games. It all falls back to one name. Dennis Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he's an absolute train wreck, and I can't believe that he's getting another bite at this apple. And that's what keeps me from – it's not that I'm not all in on them, because I think the hype on every other team in the NFC South is stupid.
Okay.
Your team's awful.
Of course. We know that.
And
no one's expecting them to be good.
You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. I stay up on betting trends, and there has been a huge surge of people that seem to be taking the over on Tampa Bay Buccaneer wins, and I can't make that math. First of all, your schedule is ugly, as is your quarterback situation, as is your head coach, as is your defense.
Well, you still have believers out there. You still have people who believe that Baker Mayfield can salvage something and be a useful quarterback in this league. With Dave Canales taking over from Seattle, they look at that and go, "Oh, look what he did with Geno Smith. Now he can make Baker Mayfield relevant."
Yeah,
I mean,
Geno Smith is 10 times the quarterback.
There's a little chance of that.
Yeah, there's a better chance that they're just horror awful.
Mm-hmm.
And Baker's career ends in Johnny Manziel form of, "Oh, yeah, you're way too annoying. You're just way too annoying for us to deal with how mediocre you actually are."
Yep.
Then you get into the Carolina-Atlanta side of this. And, look, I understand why both of these teams have hope. Atlanta's defense is drastically better than it's been. I would go back to the early days of Dan Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
You still don't have quarterback. You still have 2 awesome outside weapons, and I don't know that you have a player on the team that can get them the ball. It also would be really unnerving to me that you're calling on Trey Lance. I don't know how serious any of that was. I can tell you definitively that the call happened, and I wouldn't be shocked if it happened again.
Mm-hmm. Well, right now, I mean, Desmond Ridder or Trey Lance. You have to choose one. Which one are you taking?
Oh, I would take the flyer on Trey Lance.
Exactly.
In the hope that in 2 years and an option year, I could make this work.
And that's what Atlanta's thinking. I don't think they're running out to get Trey Lance for now.
I don't know that I agree with you on that.
Maybe I'm wrong.
My thought is that Arthur Smith looks at Trey Lance and sees a young version of Ryan Tannehill.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tannehill had a lot of the same problems. When he was in Miami, he had a lot of the same problems that you saw in limited work from Trey Lance. And so maybe his thought is, I can slide him into this offense. And if that's the case, then yes, I like Atlanta market.
But I'm not going to go get him if I can't get him cheap. And that's
second-round pick.
That's the problem.
That's what apparently Atlanta is willing to come off a conditional second-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco's not going to do that.
San Francisco wants more. And you're not going to get it from anybody.
No. Which means you're going to go into this weird, hey, we have 3 quarterbacks, which means we don't really have one. Carolina, you've got just a lot of things working against you. And look, I'm not trying to throw rain on the Panthers parade. That's not what I'm doing. I'm looking at Carolina and Detroit right now very similarly of you're getting really hyped up about something that has a ton of moving pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And historically, these things don't work as instantaneously as you're thinking. And so you get to New Orleans and just go, is it possible that all you have to do is put this in neutral and coast downhill and still win this division?
Mm-hmm.
And can Dennis Allen do that?
It's very possible. You said there are people who have high hopes for my team. I have not seen that. Anybody I've ever seen picking my team to still win this division, they're still winning the division with an 8-9 record.
Oh, no,
or
no,
a 9-8
record.
record.
I'm not seeing people wagering Tampa Bay to win the division. I'm seeing a significant number of people that are going over the 6.5 that you're getting total wins. And I can't wrap my brain around that.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense to me. But it's like what I said in Green on Green. When I start seeing weird betting activity like that, you don't get a lot of the average fan. You don't get the you that's like, hey, I'm going to put $20 on the Bucks to win more than 6.5 games. That doesn't move a needle anywhere. But when I start seeing things move around, and I can't, wow, what are you seeing here? Because to me, this division is really, really, really easy to figure out. If you want to go safe, it's New Orleans. You've been competitive for however many years. Mm-hmm. This is the best quarterback you've ever had. I don't believe in your coaching staff, but I think your defense is talented. I don't think you're going to have as many issues out of Kamara and probably out of Michael Thomas. I think it was Colin earlier that said there's a belief that Michael Thomas hasn't actually been as hurt. He just wanted to have a real-life quarterback. Well, he has a quarterback now. Mm-hmm. I mean, you couldn't possibly have thought you were going to do better than this. Can't really believe you even thought you were going to do this well if you're Michael Thomas. Mm-hmm. But I'm still mortified by your coaching staff. I have watched Dennis Allen lose games that make no sense. And I go back to that Thursday night football game against the Cardinals where they didn't look like they belonged on the same field. Meanwhile, you had the quarterback arguing with his coach and his star receiver in the same game. And you still couldn't capitalize on it. And that falls on the coaching to me. So if there is any reason to believe that they're not going to be as good as they should be, that's why.
Yep.
The thing that bothers me is I don't know who you would turn it over to. If New Orleans comes out of the gate 2-3, Dennis Allen gets fired like that. Mm-hmm. I would say there is nobody in the NFL that's in a more precarious spot than him.
But then are they turning it over to Carmichael?
That's what scares me, is that you don't have one that I look at and go, hey, he works. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think Doug Marrone is on that staff.
I believe you're right.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I said Friday, but when we got knocked off of YouTube. If you told me Doug Marrone was the coach of the New Orleans Saints, I'd bet my house they win the division. I cannot do that with Dennis Allen.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Coming up after the Sports Center update, top of the third hour of the program, it's daily draft time, and there are some pretty sweet throwback uniforms that we're going to see this year. That's the subject of the daily draft next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 26 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between the Smoky Park Highway and Georges Branch Road. Smoky Park Highway southbound is stop and go between the Inca area and Sand Hill Road. A disabled vehicle does have the left turn lane closed. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road, north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road, slow. And Boulevard Road, northbound, slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do. So great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to now.
Meet Joe A, Hi. Joe B, Hello. And Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Okay, now move your feet. Love the way you're moving when you're grooving on the beat. Yeah.
It's back to school season, and Famous Footwear is the place for great savings. For a limited time, save up to an additional $30 when you get new shoes for the entire family from all your favorite brands like Adidas, New Balance, Vans, and more. Hurry, this great deal won't last long, so shop online or bring the whole family to a Famous Footwear near you and let our team of sizing experts help every kid find the perfect fit. Some exclusions apply.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
At Ingalls, we know your closest companions are the ones who are always there for you. The ones you trust to have your back, no matter what. Who make the hard times a little softer, and the good ones, somehow, a little better. That's what family is all about, whether they walk on 2 legs or 4. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide.
Avoided major injury. ESPN's Field Yates reporting an MRI on his injured right knee showed no structural damage. He's considered day-to-day. Nyheim Hines, a key special teams and offensive player for the Bills, expected to miss the season with a left ACL injury, was hurt when he was struck by a jet ski. Chiefs receiver Kadarius Toney expected to miss sometime during training camp after aggravating an injury to his knee. He should, though, be ready for the start of the regular season. Toney has been a centerpiece of Kansas City's effort to rebuild its receiving group the last few seasons. ESPN NFL analyst Mina Kimes.
In the limited glimpses you saw of him last season, he was used so creatively, lined up all across the formation. He's in the backfield. He's used on jet sweeps and end arounds. And combined with a coach as creative as Andy Reid, it feels like a formula that just makes this offense even harder to defend.
The Titans officially signed receiver DeAndre Hopkins.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Green, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingalls Supermarkets.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And the Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. Don't forget to see us as well, live in the Ingalls studio on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. Once you're through to YouTube, that gets you into the chat with us each and every day. You got to comment on whatever we're talking about. That's your immediate access to us. Also, while you're there, don't forget to click on the description of the YouTube video, and there you'll find all of the links to the Beer City Ultimate Fantasy Draft Experience contest, where we will give your league the red carpet treatment. We will host your draft, announce all the picks. We're gonna have, we're gonna have a crowd of commentators that will make it fun, make the jokes. Jeremy will be leading the charge with that, with also the guys from the Dude Takes podcast. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We'll be drawing for that in just 3 weeks, middle of August. So get in on the contest now. Also, your entries into that contest can be bundled together with your entry into the Battle for the Belt. And also you can get a package where you get the Mullet Man and the Canadan fantasy guide for this upcoming season, which the finishing touches are being put on that as we speak.
That they are.
It is the top of the third hour of the program. It's daily draft time. And today...
I do think before we get in the daily draft,
okay.
I think we've buried a lead here.
Okay, what's the lead?
That the Papa and the Mama Tank have sent quite possibly the greatest pimento cheese that has ever existed on this planet.
They did. My dad has, since he's been retired, he's been playing around in the kitchen trying new recipes and such, and he has created a habanero pimento cheese that is phenomenal.
It is outrageously good. And I think I have crammed a spoonful of it between two Ritz crackers every commercial break we've taken during the show.
He has, and he keeps looking back and like if you're just going to leave this laying here, I'm going to eat it and not feel bad. That's why I brought it.
So you wouldn't eat it?
So you can eat it. So I wouldn't eat all of it because he ended up making 10 pounds of it.
Sweet.
And he and I are the only ones in the family that like spicy food, so we got a lot of it to eat. So I'm glad you're enjoying that.
Oh, Frankie Cleary said put that on a burger.
Oh yeah, it would be great on a burger.
My.
I may have to go get some more of it and try that.
Yes. I have burgers in my fridge. I actually just stopped at Ingles. Low prices love the savings.
Indeed. It is the Sportsocracy. All right, let's get into the daily draft here. We're doing throwback uniforms because today your team, Jeremy, unveiled their throwbacks to the New York Sack Exchange uniforms, of course, made popular in the heyday of
Joe Klecko, Mark Gastineau.
Thank you.
There are two of these lovely Sack Exchange jerseys in the studio as we speak.
But I love that they're doing the white ones and not the green ones. I'm always a bigger fan of the white jerseys than the green ones.
I would have been fine either way. But
the more important is the helmet, because they're going back to the one with the silhouette of the jet on it that comes off of the top of the J, which I feel like should always and forever be the Jets logo. I told Jeremy before the show, I don't really like the new logo with the football on it. And he went, we don't have a football on our logo. Yeah, you do, and it's actually right behind your head.
I had to turn around and go, oh, we do. We do.
I like this.
Because you stare at something that much, you don't notice those things.
I like the skinnier letters. I like it. I don't know. It may be because, I grew up here in Buncombe County, and those were the Inca Jets helmets. And I thought they were brilliant with the silhouette of the jet on the side. So I'm glad that they're bringing that back.
All right, so we have started this draft. We feel like the only way that is judicious, which is we each get our own team.
Yes. I get the creamsicles.
You get the Buccaneers creamsicles. I get the New York Jets, the New York Sack Exchange Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I, like an idiot, asked for the first pick because I wasn't forward thinking enough to realize that there are actually two that I wanted. I could have just hoped that you didn't take the right one. So now I have a kerfuffle. I know you're going to take one of the ones I wanted. I just hope you don't take both of them.
Okay.
It's the Houston Oilers, the retro with the Oiler on it in Tennessee. Look, I know this franchise was in Houston when they wore those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
And for the first year in Tennessee.
That was the second part I was going to say. They wore them in Tennessee for a year. They were the Tennessee Oilers for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they weren't, I wouldn't care.
No.
That was such a classic, clean look. And it's even cleaner now. I don't know what they're doing to these retro jerseys.
Well,
that they're even better now than they were back in the day.
I think it's because the colors are more vibrant.
You very well may be
right.
We
have HD cameras and stuff. Every picture that you see of the throwback uniforms, well, this is a picture of Leroy Selman when he wore his creamsicles. It's a little faded. It doesn't really look great because the cameras weren't that great, right?
Do you ever look at those things and go, how is it going to get better than it is right now?
What do you mean?
Because, we do that in every era. Like, you look back to things from the 2010s, Like, this is crystal clear. How will it ever get better? That looks like garbage now compared to what an average 4K camera can do. Like,
You're not
if
wrong.
it gets any clearer, you're going to feel like you're in the room with the person, and I'm not okay with that.
That's a great choice by you. The Houston Oilers definitely were on my list. Tennessee Titans, they have not announced when they're going to wear them, but I have a feeling when they host Houston in like week 13, that's got to be the time you whip out the Houston Oilers outfits, right?
No doubt.
You wear the uniforms against the Houston team. Just makes too much sense in my brain.
One Nation Underground asked, how many oil rigs are there in Nashville? Well, right now, there's a lot of people complaining about things in Nashville, but not many oil rigs.
How many lakes are in Los Angeles?
Well, he said.
How much jazz music is in Utah?
That was the one. That's always been the one that's irked me.
Right.
Like, you don't go to Utah for jazz music. That doesn't make any sense. They at least changed the team name.
Yeah.
I get that.
It doesn't have to make sense.
But their throwbacks are still what the franchise was.
Hence why they changed the name to the Titans.
Yeah, because the Tennessee Oilers never made any sense.
No, sir, it did not. You know me, I'm a sucker for blue. I am a sucker for blue uniforms. The Houston Oilers would have been my next pick.
Oh, I knew you were. I knew that would be one of the ones you took.
100%. You know, I'm a Carolina boy, and anytime anybody wears Carolina blue or a facsimile thereof, I'm going to be all about it. The Tennessee Titans' current alternate uniforms, the Los Angeles Chargers powder blues, love them. Love the Houston Oilers as well, their uniforms. I mean, but the Seattle Seahawks 1990s throwbacks are brilliant.
Oh, they're phenomenal. They look much better now than they did back in the day.
They do. And again, I think a lot of that has to do with the picture quality or the camera quality that we had back then. All those jerseys look more, they look darker. They're a much darker version of the blue than we see in these throwback uniforms. And it was also, I think a lot of that had to do with the lighting because they played in the Kingdom, right? And so they didn't have great lighting, whatever. But these are just beautiful. And I can't wait to see them go out there with the silver helmets and the blue jerseys with the, was that Kelly green? Do you call that Kelly green? Or is that solely just for Philadelphia?
No, that's, they called it apple green or something like that.
Yeah.
They had a specific name for it.
Yeah. So those are the second choice of mine. Because I'm not sure my ranking doesn't go Creamsicle, Seattle, and then Houston at 3. And then comes a logo shift. It's not so much a uniform shift, but a logo shift. There's the team, little old team, spicy team up in Detroit that's got new helmets this year for their throwbacks.
Wow. I did not see you taking this one.
It is the 1960s Detroit Lions logo that looks like it came off the front of a car. And they'll be wearing that on their helmets at least once this season. I love the Honolulu blue.
I'm fine with the color. The logo looks like it was drawn in Microsoft Paint. And that is what I cannot get behind. I didn't even have that on my list.
Really?
No.
Well, that's gross.
No, I didn't. I mean, and it gets tough because there's only been so many of these announced.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to think I'm cheating on one of these. I feel that coming.
Okay.
Because my next selection, you did not take the second one that I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to lie to you. For me, this is my 1, 2, 3. It's the Kelly Green Eagles jerseys, and I'm not sure that I shouldn't have taken that at 1. That was just the only one I knew there was any shot you wouldn't take, because I knew you would take the Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to take the Jets,
Mm-hmm.
and I would anyway, because it's the greatest jersey that's ever existed. They should have just put a Creed song behind it, and it would have really been the greatest jersey unveiling in the history of jersey unveilings.
Mm-hmm.
But those Kelly Green Eagles jerseys are phenomenal. And now I'm going to say something that might be a little unpopular. I don't really like the Eagles' current jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would go back to this permanently. Do you ever look at the Eagles now and just go, and I'm colorblind, I don't like when a lot of things are very similar color like that. And so you get the green and it fades into the darker and then it gets into the silver. I can't really always tell where it stops and starts, and it's kind of hard on my eyes.
So you want it crisper, more dry, more stark contrast between.
I know why they did it. I just it's not as visually appealing to me.
Okay.
Those Kelly Green Eagle jerseys are they are the chef keys.
Not even on my list.
What?
Nope.
Are you on recreational crimes?
Are you a cop?
That's a good point you asked there.
Not even on my list. Like, Kelly Green's okay. I mean, yay, but I like the newer. Wow. I like the newer Eagles logo, uniforms, all of it way better than I did the past.
Wow. That is shocking to me. And I feel like I have to take this one here because I'm going to come out and basically say that I'm cheating here.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I'm taking the new Browns whiteout.
Okay.
I know you won't take it,
not a chance.
but I know definitively you won't take the last one because you may not even know it's a thing yet. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought we were doing only things that have been announced.
Well, it has been announced.
It just
but
hasn't
you
been
had to
revealed
know
yet.
where to look.
It just hasn't been revealed yet. Because I think I know the one you're talking about, and I can't wait to see it, but it doesn't come out till tomorrow.
That is the one I'm talking
And I
about.
didn't search it to see what it looks like, to see what the release has been. Because I have two right here at my disposal. One of them is a team that you really hate, but they're bringing them back because they should always bring them back. When you have a throwback weekend, you have to have Patriot Pats somewhere. And those New England Patriots red jerseys with the blue and white stripes on the shoulders and the Patriot Pat logo, it's one of the greatest throwback uniforms of all time.
I didn't have that one on my list because it hasn't been unveiled this year, and that was an error in judgment on my part. Because I have all the ones from this year, and I didn't think about that one, but it still counts with the way that we did this.
Well, they have already announced the dates that they're going to wear them. September 17th against the Dolphins and December the 3rd against the Chargers. They will be bringing back the red jersey with the Patriot Pat helmet. And the last one, possibly one of the greatest helmets of all time in the NFL, and it's the red Atlanta Falcons helmets.
You have always liked that one.
I love it so much.
Markedly better than I do.
The red helmets with the black jerseys, that was just a fierce look.
It's black and red.
It's way better than the Kelly Green. My book.
Oh, you're recreational crimes. I'll give you Patriot Pat. I screwed that one up. That's what I should have taken instead of the Browns because you were never going to take that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't. The red helmet Atlanta doesn't do it for me.
Really?
No, it never has. I've always sworn that you like that so much because you're a Georgia Bulldog fan.
Nah,
and that's it.
Nah,
that is the only thing about that jersey.
I loved it when I was a kid, and I didn't even know Georgia football existed when I was a kid. It was Deion Sanders. It was Jeff George. It was that whole era. The red helmet just spoke to me.
It just spoke to you, eh?
Indeed.
Well, I kind of boxed myself into a corner.
Last pick. Who you got?
I don't know exactly what this uniform looks like. So I am taking a little bit of a risk. But I know it comes out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I know it's all white. And I have a feeling that it is an all-white throwback to the old school Denver Broncos. I think this has the D on it, the D with the horse in the middle of it. And just on the premise, I'm taking that Denver D thing. So I may have accidentally disqualified myself because that may not be what this is.
You really don't know what it's going to look like.
I really have no idea what it is. But I can't for the life of me believe that Denver is announcing this without it being something cool.
Mm-hmm. It's all white. There's a white face mask. There's the white helmet. It's going to have the stripes down the center of the helmet. There'll be an orange one and a blue one, or two blue ones and an orange one.
And from the one rendering they've released, it looks like it's built like the old school 80s John Elway D helmet. And that's what I think it's going to be.
I hope so. I wasn't real wild about the white ones when they did it a few years ago with the new Broncos logo, the new horse head logo on it.
I despise the current Bronco logo. I hate it.
It's way better than the old one.
Oh, no. The old one was phenomenal. I've long told you there's coming a day where I go to all throwbacks. So anytime we put a logo up on the screen, it's going to be the throwback.
Okay.
I've just not taken the time to do that. That does take some time.
Mm-hmm. I never understood the old logo. I don't know. It's
what's not to understand about it?
It's the snort. It's the cloud of spit or whatever that is coming out of the horse's nose on the old logo that I look at and I go, what? That just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why. It just
because it's a
and
horse.
It didn't look like a horse. It looked like a unicorn. I mean, it was the silhouette of one ear, but still, it looked more like a unicorn to me than anything.
I'm still stuck on.
Why has this horse got a horn coming out of its head?
I still don't understand I didn't get it. Well, they're the Broncos,
but it's not necessary.
And the Bronco is a horse,
and
there's a horse in the logo, and they play in Denver, so it's bursting through a D.
I'm talking about
the first letter in the.
I'm talking about the hashish cloud that's coming out of the nose of the horse on the old logo.
One Nation Underground just explained that much better than I could have. It's breath. It gets real cold in Denver. You ever breathe out and go, "Hey, look, I'm smoking." Yeah, that's what it's doing.
It just never made any sense to me. The new logo, way better than the old one.
I just explained it to you. It's a horse, and they play in Denver, so it has a D, and there's a horse in it.
But that doesn't make your logo better just because you could explain it. It's still a crappy logo.
In one segment, you managed to do on the Kelly Green Eagle uniforms and the throwback Broncos from the 80s.
Bingo.
You want to just take a big,
it was way better.
You want to just take a grumper on the Oilers while you're doing it? I mean, you're knocking out all the best ones.
I told you that was good. The yellow and brown of the Broncos was better than the 80s logo.
Okay. I say this a lot. A lot of people say, oh, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard, or that's the smartest thing I've ever heard. Definitively, what you just said is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. The dookie brown and mustard yellow of whatever that travesty was is arguably the worst uniform in the history of professional sports. The fact that those Pittsburgh Steeler bumblebees exist, which I actually liked at first, and then I saw them a second time, and I went, nope. That's awful. You look like you're playing a bumblebee in a kid's play. That is the only thing that keeps them from being the worst thing I've ever seen. If you had to take another one that hasn't been released yet, what would it be?
That hasn't been released yet?
I think my answer might surprise you.
I don't know. It hasn't been released, so I haven't seen it.
No. A throwback that teams have used that they have not said they're wearing this year.
Oh. I can't really.
Because you can't use the Chargers powder blue because that's part of their repertoire now.
Right.
But there is one that it irks me every single year that they don't go back to this.
Okay.
The fact that the Miami Dolphins have done everything in their power to get away from the only logo that made any rational sense in the history of the franchise.
And I think they are planning on wearing those this year. The 72.
They wear them one time every year.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know what? The next time you wear those, somebody should come into your locker room and throw everything else away.
Right.
And then you have to wear that. because I threw the rest of it away because it was garbage. And that's what I threw it where it belonged.
See, that's a throwback logo I can get down with. That one, way better than the swimmy dolphin that they have now.
Yeah, I don't understand the dolphin they have now. It's like you tried to make it modern, and now it looks kind of like it should be the logo of a nightclub.
Right.
Where the music is really loud and the drinks are really expensive, and I never go in it ever.
Yeah. Ray Finkel Dolphins uniforms, far superior to the current logo and uniform set that they have. I just don't have a really good one. Like, people get so wrapped up in some of these teams' throwbacks, like the Buffalo Bills or the Pittsburgh Steelers or the New York Giants or...
The Giants' old ones are pretty sweet.
They all look the same. They're all just terrible.
Wait a minute. So you said earlier in this segment that the Jets should go back to the silhouette that's over Jets.
Yes.
And you don't understand that the New York Giants had the exact same thing, only it wasn't a Jet silhouette.
No, I'm not talking about their logos. I'm talking about their uniforms.
Oh.
They've all looked the same to me throughout the Pittsburgh Steelers are going back to the 1974 uniforms.
Yeah,
they look exactly the same as the ones that they wear now, except for that there's one little tiny yellow strip that's different.
We got an extra stripe, and you need to buy it for $129.
Who cares? I don't care how many stripes are on your sleeve. What is this, the U.S. Army? No.
Yeah, the as long as Pittsburgh doesn't go yellow helmets ever again.
No, don't do that.
That's awful.
Don't do that.
Just genuinely awful. The one we didn't mention, I do like the blacked out Colts helmet, the one that's all blue. They changed the numbers to that new Colts font.
Yeah, what's it called? The Nightlife or the Indiana Knights uniform or something? I could do without it.
I just wish there was like a white outline on the horseshoe. Because, I mean, colorblind guy, dark blue on black, I have to look at really intently to go, oh, that's not just a black helmet.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shoe there. I see it.
Stephen Tao weighing in says the Seahawks neon greens are the worst unis in football. I agree. The all neon green color rush, horrible.
The worst?
Yeah, it's an assault on your eyeballs.
Those Green Bay Packer ones with the circle around the numbers, it would like a word.
Nah.
Because they're like brown. They're brown with yellow pants.
I thought they were blue. I thought it was like navy blue.
Maybe
and gold or something.
Well, when I see it, I see brown. And the only time it's acceptable for somebody to wear brown is if they work for UPS.
Or unless they're the Cleveland Browns. And then you're all for it.
I like it as an accent. I like the white ones. The white ones are fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Laziest helmet redesign ever. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow in 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Barnardsville, future 26 westbound near Stockton Branch Road. Congestion. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. Near Avery Creek Boulevard Road, north and southbound, near Long Shoals Road, slow. Checking the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 240 westbound and 26 eastbound. Drive time 22 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by ComparionInsurance.com.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Never heard of us? We know. But to help it stick that our local agents are insurance experts, we're going to say local agent 3 times in the next 5 seconds. Local agent, local agent, local agent.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com.
In this week's Marketers Report, we hear about the importance of local radio from Allison Griffin, Head of Marketing at State Farm.
iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
No, not now. That sounds like it's gonna cost you. I know what to do. I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. I can apply in minutes, get an instant decision, and if approved, I could have the money in my account as soon as the same business day.
When you need money fast, be the hero. Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need now. The exact timing as to when your loan funds will be available will be determined by your banking institution.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
At Blue Ridge Health, everyone deserves access to top-notch, compassionate health care, no matter their insurance or income status. Keep your family healthy with updated immunizations for COVID-19, flu, chickenpox, and shingles. Health care for all people, including you. Learn more at brchs.com. At Blue Ridge Health, everyone deserves access to top-notch, compassionate health care, no matter their insurance or income status. Keep your family healthy with updated immunizations for COVID-19, flu, chickenpox, and shingles. Health care for all people, including you. Learn more at brchs.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, we have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingles and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
8 people involved in a boat crash in the Ozarks in Missouri. 8 people on board the boat were injured after it crashed into a house. I feel like that's hard to do. 8 people sent to the hospital after a boat crashed into a home on the Lake of the Ozarks, according to the Highway Patrol. It happened about 11:55 p.m. on Saturday, and I want to know how many crimes do you have to do to hit a house with your boat? Because this isn't like it was a boat house. You know, it's like a boat that somebody lives on and you hit it. These people went offshore, through the shore, over a bank, and into someone's home.
Does it say if alcohol was involved?
100% alcohol was involved. There is no chance that it wasn't.
Because, see, that is why they invented Uber. They don't, to my knowledge, have a boat burn. So you kind of overplayed your hand there.
According to the crash report, Adam Ramirez, 47, was driving the boat when it ran aground and hit the house. The boat then overturned and ejected all 8 passengers on board. Highway Patrol said 2 people were home at the time of the crash but were not injured. Again, don't do crimes on the water. Drinking and driving, drinking and boating, both equally illegal.
All right, so I obviously served on a jury a few weeks ago, and I've been having some issues with the judicial system, and this is just another great case in point of what I'm talking about. I want you – do you have your bell over there?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to ring your bell when you hear the part of this story where I have a problem.
Okay.
My story is about Christy Lynn Felkins. She's 38 years old. She lives in Fallon, Nevada, and I have actually detailed this story before. Maybe you remember her. She was the one that went to a hitman.com website trying to find somebody to kill her ex-husband. Well, the problem is that website was designed by a college student as part of a project, and he funneled all inquiries to the FBI. That would be the FBI. Well, she finally had her day in court, and many new details came out about this story. One of which was that she paid $5,000 for this hitman in Bitcoin. That's not real bright. That's not real bright, but that's not where my problem comes in.
Oh, okay.
She also told the hitman that she wanted it to be made to look like an accident and asked if it could be laid out like a mugging gone wrong because she had a very sizable life insurance policy on the ex-husband who she was still legally married to, and she was the beneficiary.
Okay.
Still not to the point where I have a problem.
No.
She was sentenced earlier this week. How long, or actually she was sentenced today. How long in a federal penitentiary did she receive?
3 years.
You're too low, but not by much.
Okay.
It's 5. I'll do it for you. So let me see if I can wrap my brain around what we have said here. You paid monies to a person who you thought was a hitman to kill your former spouse. You told them you didn't care if his current girlfriend got harmed in the process, that she would be, quote, just collateral damage. It doesn't matter that you weren't actually paying a hitman. You thought you were. I don't know much about criming because I don't do it. But I feel like that crime requires markedly more than 60 months in prison. Martha Stewart got sentenced to more than that because she sold a stock because she knew it was going to go sideways. You know, there are times that this world scares the heeber-jeebers out of me, and the more things like this I see, the more I want to go live off the grid somewhere with Woody Harrelson and not have electricity.
But 5 years, I mean, does that fall into the into the window? Is that like on the early side of what she could have gotten, or is that
I don't
right
care.
in the sweet spot? That's the question.
Okay, I apparently said this too quickly. You paid thousands of dollars to a person to kill another person. It does not matter that you paid it to a college nerd that made a website for a project. You thought you were hiring a hitman. Doesn't matter that he's a good man. You thought he was a hitman. How is that 5 years in jail? That should be 55 years in jail.
50?
At least.
You wouldn't even get 50 if you actually killed him.
You should.
100%,
well, I mean, you should.
We could agree on that, but still, I mean, even if you got life in prison, more often than not, life is what, 30 years? And they cut off on that sentence for good behavior.
Jonathan Welch said attempted murder isn't the same as real murder. You had the same intent. Intent, my friends. Intent. You intended for him to get dead. You booked all of the things. You're just a stupid criminal that booked it on an FBI informant website. If you had been a smartman, you would have hired an actual hitman, and you probably would have succeeded.
And then the punishment would be much more severe.
Oh, so he had to die. Oh, just the fact that you did all of the things to make him die, that's not enough. You know, we got to be sure that we're fair to everybody.
She might have had a hell of a lawyer.
Jonathan Wells said he hopes I never get in office. Well, that depends. How many crimes do you plan on doing? Because if it's a lot, then you're probably right. Because I would not.
No. Jeremy wants to be judge, jury, and executioner of just...
No!
That's a new crime, and that's 70 years in prison. But I just crossed the street without looking. I don't care, you could have killed somebody.
I did not say that.
Just making up sentence structures as we go along.
Jonathan Welch said her only crime was trying to find a hitman on a website. Nope. See, that's not how the judicial system works. Because as soon as you make a cash payment, which she did twice, because she paid $4,000 more because it wasn't happening quick enough. You have done all of the facets of this.
Oh, so wait, it was only $1,000 the first time?
It was $5,000 the first time. She paid an additional $4,000 in a second transaction.
Oh, okay. So she paid a total of $9,000 to have this guy.
I'm just look. And I know the legalities of this. First of all, that is very low on the sentencing for that. There are people that have done life in prison for doing that exact same thing. They just hired an actual hitman who maybe attempted the actual crime, which to me, there's no difference there. You're just an idiot that hired a bookworm. You went to hitman.org. I am not giving you leniency for being too stupid to commit the crime for which you intended.
Look, I honestly thought it was a website about a video game. That's. Can I get away with that?
Stephen Townsend, 5 years in jail. She's out $9,000 and her husband's still alive. She lost a lot.
Yeah, she did.
Not enough. Mullet president, 2028.
Bury her under the jail.
Oh, for me, that's 20 years easy. As soon as you bring the government into it in the form of a check, yep, you have done all of the things I did. And she never even denied it. She went, no, that's me. I said all of those things, and I'm actually mad that it didn't get carried out. Badman. You are a badman, and you should be in the place for the badman.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, there's breaking news in the NFL.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Isolated thunderstorms in from the west, and 60 degrees our low tonight in the valley. Storms few and far between this week. And we'll step on the temperature accelerator, talking about some 90s here in the valley by Wednesday and Thursday later on this week. Mostly sunny Tuesday, high 87 degrees. Rain chances low at around 20%. And a stray storm Wednesday near 90. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound stop and go between Tunnel Road and Exit 8. Future 26 westbound near Stockton Branch Road near Barnardsville, an accident. 26 westbound is slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound stop and go between the French Broad River and Airport Road. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Boulevard Road northbound slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blue Ridge Health. At Blue Ridge Health, everyone deserves access to top-notch, compassionate health care, no matter their insurance or income status. Keep your family healthy with updated immunizations for COVID-19, flu, chickenpox, and shingles. Health care for all people, including you. Learn more at brchs.com.
The free iHeartRadio app covers the sports teams you love like no one else. Catch the latest breaking news, plus the upcoming NFL season's just around the corner. And iHeartRadio is your official podcast partner of the NFL. Make the iHeart app your go-to to stay up to date on all things in the sports world. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Grab your golf clubs and get ready for the 2023 Mike Tweed Memorial Rocket Open at the Ken Muir Country Club. Monday, July 31st, it's a 12 noon shotgun start. Each team entry includes 2 mulligans per player, a long drive contest, closest to the pin, and a par 3 challenge. Plus, there's a box lunch and door prizes as well. All the proceeds benefit AC Reynolds Rocket Football. To get signed up, contact Joey Green at 828-243-8076 or email bigjoegreen7@gmail.com.
Get your tickets now
at AXS.com
for our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
September 22nd and 23rd.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Introducing Audible's new original series, Breakthrough. The first of its kind audio-only singing competition featuring celebrity judges Kelly Rowland and Sarah Bareilles. With host Daveed Diggs. Hear who has what it takes. Listen on Audible or wherever you get your podcasts.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. a premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. Time for breaking news.
He doesn't pay enough attention to the stream to realize that there's a rejoiner that happens while he's doing that. Awful. Good. That dance is just terrible.
Give us the breaking news, Jeremy.
You make Mark Madsen look like Chris Brown, just so you know that.
I don't know who that is.
Really?
Who's Mark Madsen?
He played for the Lakers back in the late 90s. He was on the title team with Shaq and Kobe, and he did this god-awful dance. And you might be the only person on the planet that's worse dancer than he is. Marcus Peters has found a new home, and it is not Baltimore from where we were hoping he would return. It is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hey! Congratulations, you suck now.
Well, you say that.
Yes, that's a terrible team. And Marcus Peters doesn't make me like them a whole lot better.
Really?
They were not one player away from being relevant to me.
So, and I guess I get that.
Okay.
But you're telling me you don't feel better about Marcus Peters and Nate Hobbs than you did about Nate Hobbs and Duke Shelley.
Sure.
I mean, that was the biggest.
I still don't think you solved anything.
I do. Now a number one receiver is not going to absolutely annihilate you. That was my biggest fear with the Raiders, is I don't know who you have that can slow down anybody. Marcus Peters is still a really good corner in this league.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you he's elite. I think he's top 15.
Okay.
He is a number one corner in this league, fact or fiction.
Yeah, fact. Sure.
You add that to the what you got in the pass rush, adding Tyree Wilson. These are all toys for Patrick Graham.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me like the defense significantly more. All right, so I'll ask you a different question because I just want to see where your head's at.
Okay.
Is this a bigger addition for the Raiders or a bigger loss for the Ravens?
I'd say it's a bigger addition for Vegas.
I tend to agree with you.
Because Baltimore's secondary was already pretty stacked. Right?
I mean, we obviously love Marlon Humphrey.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a pretty significant drop-off to Rocky Sin. At least I believe so. I do find it funny that now they've basically just traded places.
I still feel like he's an okay 2.
He's fine. And I like Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I like the rest of the defense markedly more.
And then you've got depth. I mean, that's the thing. They've got depth behind that. Jalen Armour-Davis. I know he wasn't your favorite coming out, but, I mean, he's still a pretty talented young kid.
He's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Trayvon Mullen, Darryl Worley,
mm-hmm.
Kyle Blue Kelly. I mean, you got a lot of dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked that you answered that. I would have thought you would have said that was a bigger loss for Baltimore because Baltimore has loftier aspirations.
Which I get, but I don't think, again, I don't feel like Marcus Peters is that lightning rod anymore. I really don't. I mean, I feel the same way about Jalen Ramsey. Like, still one of the elites in the league. I get it. But I don't think he helps you win games. I mean, because he's with the Miami Dolphins, did you tick them up a game because he came? I didn't.
I ticked the defense up.
But I'm saying total wins. You thought they were a 10-win team before. They get Jalen Ramsey. You go, oh, nope, now that's an 11-win team. Or, oh, nope, now that's a 12-win team. No, he doesn't equal wins to me. It's a great piece to have, but I don't like the rest of your team.
I'd say, and I don't dislike the Raiders as much as you do.
Yeah, I'm not
to
impressed
me, that,
with anything.
Well, I always hate when I look at a team and go, you have a just massive hole at a position.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders had one of those. They now don't. I mean, for me, it's really that cut and dry. You had a huge hole at corner.
But does it make them more competitive in their division? No.
To win it? No. Does it make them more competitive? Absolutely. Because just think of that division. What do you think Mike Williams was going to do to this team without Marcus or Keenan Allen or whoever they were to put him on? He doesn't play in the slot often. So, or with Denver with Cortland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy.
Mm-hmm. I thought this.
I think it gives you more. It gives you more room for error.
Okay, I get it.
Because I think he is still a good enough corner. Not necessarily to shut down one side, but to make it not just a sieve.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was my problem with the Raiders. I looked at them and went, my God, you play like 7 of the 10 best receivers in the league, and I don't have even the foggiest of a clue who you think you're going to put on them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't exist. Brandon Faison is not doing it for me. And I like this move for the Raiders.
Okay.
I saw that he was coming in today. I was a little shocked that it happened as quick as it did.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also only 30 years old. And this is probably his last year of being at
Tier
that
1.
point.
Yeah.
But I think it's a nice addition for the Raiders.
Mm-hmm. It's a fine addition, but I still feel like you're only going to win 5 games this year. And so could you win 6? Maybe. Anything past that, I'm out. Because I just don't trust it. I think you got a horrible coaching staff. I don't like the way that this has been put together at all. You've got question marks at several positions. And I could see a path where Josh Jacobs will just tell him to shove it, much to his own detriment. I'm not saying that's what he should do or that he's got even a leg to stand on if he does.
No, he'll be out there week 1.
Maybe.
I give you 10.8 million reasons why he'll be there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But I still don't like this team. And adding Marcus Peters, yeah, it's decent. Patrick Graham's a hell of a defensive coordinator, so maybe he can make them look more relevant than they actually are. But they're still going to have to score more points than everybody else, and I don't know that I really trust you to do that.
Well, hey, Jimmy Garoppolo passed his physical, though.
He did.
That's
so
a
thank
thing.
God for that. Also, latest news in the NFL, just announced today, Jordan Addison. He had a real good reason for going 140 the other day. Have you seen this?
I have not, but I'm intrigued.
Updated citation includes misdemeanor charges for speeding and reckless driving. A description of the incident issued by the Minnesota State Patrol notes that Addison, quote, stated his dog was having an emergency at his residence, and that was the reason for his speed. So his dog was, I don't know, choking on a T-bone or something, and he was, I got to get him to the hospital.
But hold on. Okay, maybe I misunderstood how you said this.
Mm-hmm.
Was the dog in the car?
Yes.
The dog was in the car?
The dog was in the car.
Okay.
He was getting the dog to a hospital of some kind, to the vet hospital, I guess. And he felt that he needed to go 140 miles an hour at 3 o'clock in the morning to get his dog to the emergency vet.
Well, it's a better explanation than we gave when we talked about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what would have, and I'm not trying to make jokes. Actually, I am trying to make jokes here. What would have been funnier to me is if he had said that he was going home because the dog was having an emergency. Because I would have then had to have asked, did the dog call you and tell you this? Like, how do you know that?
He has promised no repeat behavior that the only reason he was going that fast was because his dog was facing some kind of a medical emergency. I get our pets hold a big place in our hearts, but I don't think it would ever spur me to go 140 miles an hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. I get you were on the interstate, and I get how speeding on an interstate can be very, very easy. I mean, you ever find yourself driving and you're cruising along, you may be doing like 10 over the speed limit, and it's 70 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden you get close into town, like in Spartanburg. Like, you're cruising along doing 70 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden the Spartanburg city limits comes up like 8 exits before you even hit Spartanburg, and it goes down to 55. Like, I can understand that.
It's also a very common place that the lawmen sit and wait for you to do that.
Indeed.
Because that's usually when I noticed it. Like, uh-oh. You got to play that fun game of how hard do I hit the brake to keep the tail end of the car from lifting up so you can see exactly how hard I just did that?
Yep. Driving his Lamborghini Urus, Addison first slowed down when he saw police lights from another trooper who was pulled over on the side of the road. But still, he took his foot off the gas, and they still clocked you at 140 in a 55? No more driving for you. No more driving for you, and I don't know. Find a vet that's on call or something.
Uber.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Well, we spent up all our time for the off-season files, so we'll have to push the off-season files to tomorrow. New England Patriots, New York Giants. And we will be one day away from all teams being actively in training camp.
It's almost here. We only have but just a few weeks to go before we, as a nation, can be unified again by 7 hours of commercial-free football.
And lastly, I guess we should mention this before we go. Yes, we can all celebrate the end of the Michael Jordan ownership of the Charlotte Hornets. The deal was approved over the weekend almost unanimously. For some reason, Jimmy Dolan of the New York Knicks voted against it. So it was 29-1 to sell the team.
And James Dolan went, I don't want you to do that. Coming out on the YouTube stream as soon as this show's over, our first Mock Draft Monday, 12-team PPR mock draft explaining all of our selections.
You are back, or we are back with you tomorrow at 3 right here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 26 westbound west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 westbound again slows near the French Broad River. 26 eastbound slow between Brevard Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Again, 26 eastbound slows between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. Airport Boulevard near Ferncliff Park Drive, an accident reported. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. With the Chalupa Supreme Beefy 5-layer burrito, crunchy taco, cinnamon twist, and medium drink, Taco Bell's $5 Cravings Box is packed as ever. And $5 as ever. Get one at Taco Bell stores. For a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for price and participation which vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
The original Tough Man contest hits the ring at Silverado's in Black Mountain July 28th and 29th. See the toughest fighters go toe-to-toe in live action. Tickets are $20 in advance and $30 the day of the show. The original Tough Man competition, July 28th and 29th at Silverado's in Black Mountain. Ringside and VIP tickets are available. Get yours now at silveradoswnc.com. silveradoswnc.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Isolated thunderstorms in from the west, and 60 degrees our low tonight in the valley. Storms few and far between this week. And we'll step on the temperature accelerator, talking about some 90s here in the valley by Wednesday and Thursday later on this week. Mostly sunny Tuesday, high 87 degrees. Rain chances low at around 20%. And a stray storm Wednesday near 90. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 26 westbound west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 westbound again slows near the French Broad River. 26 eastbound slow between Brevard Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Again, 26 eastbound slows between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. Airport Boulevard near Ferncliff Park Drive, an accident reported. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say good night to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. We have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.